Waiting for these three people out of the 4 million people of Los Angeles, three people are chanting something that is causing this council not to be able to meet. So please get them out.
Oh, man, it's already starting off with a bang.
Have a nice day.
They're already starting off. Three people shouting about. Three people out of 4 million that don't like us. No, it's 4 million.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Maybe three like you.
To the
They're
real
all your ass
members of
lickers.
the public who are here, I apologize for that delay. It's something that we have to deal with sometimes in the City Council, so I apologize for the delay. Public comment will be taken today both in person here in the council chambers and telephonically. I want to welcome all of our guests.
Brock.
Good morning.
It's reality.
And welcome to this meeting of your
I like
Los
looking at
Angeles City
reality.
Council. Today is Wednesday, May 8th, 2024.
Everyone's
Paul
protesting.
Krikorian,
They're
President
protesting
of
in
the Council,
Amsterdam.
and
They're
we're
protesting
ready
in
to
Ireland.
begin. We
Everywhere.
do have a quorum. We've called the roll.
People are
Mr.
sick and
Clerk,
tired of
first
these.
order of business, please.
These
Approval of the minutes
locusts
of May
coming to their
7th,
country
2024.
and spitting on it.
Councilmember
And as,
Blumenfield
as
moves.
those
Councilmember
things,
Hernandez
people think they're
seconds.
taking
Next.
over these countries.
Mandatory
They're
resolutions
in
for
for
approval.
a rude
Councilmember
awakening.
Hutt moves. Councilmember Lee seconds. Next. Let's run through the agenda,
These
please.
people ain't going
Mr. President,
quietly
items
or
1
without
through
a
6
fight.
are items for which public hearings have been held. Items 7 through 10 are items for which public hearings
Better
have
roll
not been
deep
held.
all the time.
Items 11 through 32 are closed session items considered by the Budget, Finance, and required for consideration.
Thank you. Without objection, those items are now before us. Do members have any items that you'd like to call special? Any specials on my left? Councilmember McCosker.
Item 3, just for comment, please. Thank
3?
you. Yes, 3.
Okay.
See everybody. Good Morgan.
Any items to be called special by members on my right? Any specials, members? Seeing none.
They've
Mr.
taken your
Clerk, what's
kindness
available
and
now
thought it
for
was
us
your
to vote?
weakness.
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items
There it is.
1, 2,
Dodgers.
and 4
What's up,
through
man?
6.
My bro. That's right.
Very good.
Dodgers
Those
are
items are
playing
now
in 2
before
hours.
us. On those items, let's
You
open
going
the
to the
roll,
game, Aaron?
close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
11 eyes.
All right. I'd like to move on next to our closed session items, items 11 through 32. And I'd like to turn to the chair of the Budget, Finance, and Innovation Committee, Councilmember Blumenfield. Do you have recommendations on items 11 through 32, sir?
I just grabbed the jar.
They've all been heard
Breaking it
by
up.
the Budget Committee. Can recommend that we
Good morning, Terry.
hear them in open session and recommend approval per the committee.
Good to see you.
Very good. So
Breaking
on
it
issue
up.
11 through 32, our
You
closed
going to the
session
game with
items are
Martinez?
any
I
of
knew
those
it. I knew it.
matters
Enjoy, man.
that any member
Bring
would like
sunscreen.
to take
Should
up
be
in
warm.
closed session to call special.
Hopefully
Okay,
you're sitting in the
seeing none,
shade.
we can vote on those in open session. So let's go ahead and read
Mr.
the
President,
recommendations.
if I may read the settlement amounts.
Please.
Thank you. In the case entitled, for item 11, entitled Parvis Chevalian versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $195,000 in settlement. For item 12, in the case
195K?
entitled Jordi J. Nunez versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $175,000 in settlement.
It's almost 400K.
For item 13, in the case
Gone.
entitled Joel Antonio Fuentes Perla
Hi,
versus
Lisa.
Kevin Ramos et al., there is a recommendation to expend $150,000 in settlement.
Hi, Sadie.
For item
I
14,
had a small
in the
breakfast.
case entitled Robert Putney versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $200,000 in settlement. For item 15, in the case entitled Jesus Mejia et al. Versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $150,000 in settlement. For item 16, in the case entitled City of Los Angeles versus Regina Thomas et al., there's a recommendation to expend up to $285,000 in settlement. For item 17,
All
in the
lawsuits.
case entitled Isidro Francisco Flores Solis
Against,
et al.
the
Versus
city.
City of Los Angeles et al., there's a recommendation to expend up to $120,000 in settlement. For item 18,
a big
in the
breakfast.
case entitled Amal Pizarro Vergara versus City of Los Angeles et al., there's a
Nice guy.
recommendation to
Good to see
expend
you.
up to
What's up,
$150,000 in settlement.
Thanks, just
For
walked
item
in.
19, in the case entitled Benaz Taheri Tafrishi versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $125,000 in settlement. For item 20, in the case entitled
20.
Cynthia Karina Alvarez versus City of Los
20
Angeles et
lawsuits.
al., There is a recommendation to reject the plaintiff's statutory offer of settlement. For item 21, in the case entitled Janet Baggett et al. Versus David Rojas et al., there's a recommendation to expend up to $250,000 in settlement. For item 22, in the case entitled Mara Cisneros versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $200,000
on.
in settlement.
How many fucking
For item
lawsuits?
23, in the case entitled Mir Blum versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $200,000 in settlement. For item 24, in the case entitled Delia G40 versus the County of Los Angeles
Hi,
et al.,
Christy.
there is a recommendation to expend up to $250,000 in settlement. For item 25, in the case entitled Sandra Correa versus City of Los Angeles et
Bro,
al.,
it doesn't stop.
there's a recommendation to expend up to $130,000 in settlement.
All six
For item
figures.
26, in the case entitled Robbie
Aloha,
Netstra
front
versus
guard.
City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to expend up to $846,633 in settlement. For item 27, in the case entitled Daniel Cashmere versus City of Los Angeles et al., there's a recommendation to expend up to $150,000 in settlement. For item 28, in the
Jesus
case
Christ.
entitled Berta Fierro
How many
versus
fucking
City of
times
Los
do you get
Angeles et
sued?
al., there's a recommendation to expend up to $200,000 in settlement.
Sadie,
For
I
item
had
29, in
oh
the
my
case
God.
entitled
I don't even
Los
care
Angeles
anymore.
Capital Management,
I don't even care
LLC.
anymore. Yeah, I had some cottage cheese, a half a thing of cottage cheese. I had a little thing of yogurt and a banana. That was my breakfast and some coffee.
Taxes in the 2022
All right,
tax
everybody.
year. For item 30, in the case entitled David Liu versus the City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to approve the settlement of said case if necessary under the city charter. For item 31, in the case entitled Jennifer Lynn et al. Versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $150,000 in settlement. And for item 32, in the case involving a California False Claims Act matter under seal,
up, Beach Bum?
identified as Los Angeles Superior Court case number 23-STCV-05099, there is a recommendation to approve the city attorney's recommendation.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That was a mouthful, but those items collectively are now before us. So again, if there are no members wishing to have any of those items heard separately in closed session. Oh, Mr. Price.
Mr. President, I need to call item 10 special.
Which one?
10,
10?
item 10, yes. I move to adopt the Department of Cannabis
Step on
Regulation
it.
Report dated April 29, 2024.
Okay, so we will hold item
When
10
appropriate.
on the desk. Right now, the closed session items are before us, items 11 through 32. So on those items, let's open the roll,
Cannabis reform, huh? Mm.
close the roll.
Why would you need to
and
reform it
tabulate
if
the
you wrote
votes.
up such great legislation
14
in the first
ayes.
place? Colorado did it.
Very good, thank you.
The
So
greedy
I'm
pigs
sorry,
didn't
Mr.
get what
Price,
they
on
wanted.
item 10, you had a
So
motion.
the greedy
Was
pig
there a
wants to
seconder for the
rewrite it,
motion?
so the greedy pig gets more money.
Seconded by
These
Mr.
being the
Husker.
greedy pigs.
So we'll hold that until after public comment.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Just disgusting. I don't see any regulars right now. 3 people were screaming. I didn't see who was screaming. I had something I had to do right before the show, and I missed it. As soon as I turned it on, I heard they were screaming, and then they escorted
All
them
right. We will go next to the presentations portion of our meeting.
here we
And
go.
again, let me just say before we do, I want to apologize to the members of the public for the disruption that we had earlier. Sometimes we have that here in council meetings. These are
Sometimes?
public meetings.
I mean every day.
People can come and sometimes, even in violation of our rules, express their viewpoints, but we will do our very best to try to maintain decorum and order as we're proceeding with these presentations. So I'd like to invite Councilmember Blumenfield, Councilmember Yaroslavsky, and Councilmember Park to
I don't have any
begin our
mods,
first
Gizmo.
presentation of the day.
Maybe it's YouTube blocking you. Cheers, Gizmo. Been a whole lot of that, apparently. Remember, everybody who doesn't see all their chat, remember in YouTube, click the 3 little lines on the top of the chat. Make sure it's on all messages, not top. That way you see all the messages, not just the top messages.
Council members, good morning.
Good morning. In fact, we can have the folks who are with us for Yom HaShoah come on up with us.
Yeah, it's just more presentation, whoever they're presenting or honoring today. You know, every day it's a new 2 or 3
come on up.
groups.
Nice
Yesterday
group
it
up
was
here.
the Croatians and who else was it? A school and one other group.
While we're doing- Hello, everybody.
We shall see who it is today.
While we're gathering here, let me just say thank you all for being here. Welcome to everyone gathered here as we observe Yom HaShoah, and we also celebrate the Jewish American Heritage Month. we
You know
call
what's
JAM.
funny is I never remembered
Before we
Jewish
recognize JAM, it's important
heritage
to
or
remember
American
our
month.
history. Jews
time
and
I've heard of
non-Jews
it.
around the
She's kinda
world
red.
take pause
Sunburned.
to remember the darkest moments of modern history as we observe
It's hot. She has
Holocaust
the fan
Remembrance
back
Day,
there. Look at her.
or Yom HaShoah. The word Shoah translates from Hebrew into English as calamity. And no matter your heritage, Jew or otherwise, this systematic murder of 6 million Jews and 5 million more political dissidents, POWs,
I don't remember
Slavs,
Snowman, but
Gypsies,
maybe I'm wrong.
homosexuals, mentally ill. It's a calamity whose horror speaks to all manners of humanity across the world. We remain committed as ever to ensuring that such atrocities are never again committed. And a crucial component of that guarantee is to educate each generation of the terrible calamity and spread the truth, especially now while we still have the privilege of survivors of the Holocaust who survived this firsthand as children that are here with us even 80 years
I
later.
don't know. I think he was talking about people
And here
that
in Los
might be
Angeles,
Jewish
a
and
city
gay.
that is proud of its multiculturalism, defies the cruelty of the Holocaust. Angelinos of all backgrounds must continue to reflect and understand what it really means
What's up,
when we
Wasteland?
say never again. Turn it over to Councilwoman Yaroslavsky.
And that's why I'm guessing I'd be willing to bet to the 3 they threw out was Palestinian protesters.
Thank you, Councilmember Blumenfield. Good morning. I am honored to stand with the Jewish community to recognize Yom HaShoah, or Holocaust Remembrance Day. And on this somber day, we are reminded of the atrocities
Oh,
committed against
none of it ever
Jews
has
during
anything
the
to do with
Holocaust
business, Connor.
and recommit ourselves.
It's the way to
stamping
pander to
out
each
hate
separate
and
group
otherization
across
that
the
laid
board, whether you're
foundations for
Filipino,
the
whether you're
Holocaust
Armenian,
itself.
whether you're Jewish, whether
Part
you're
of this
whatever.
recommitment
Latinos,
means
doesn't
not
matter.
just uplifting
what it
the
is.
values of inclusivity, but
Oh, that's
ensuring
what it
that
was.
future
Raza Billy that we
generations
saw
of
yesterday.
Angelinos
Raza Billy.
and people all over the world
Like Rockabilly,
do
but
not forget what happened.
Rasa Billy.
While we've seen a troubling rise in anti-Semitism, hate, and Holocaust denialism, we must ensure that even as we have fewer and fewer survivors still among us, that we keep
Since
their
when is that new,
experiences
sinful?
and messages
Nothing
alive.
new. They
and
do
that we
that to
shall
every kind
never
of
forget.
comment.
I'm proud to stand with the Jewish
Not just
community, and
Jewish
I will always
comments, I
work
assure
hard
you.
alongside my colleagues in office and our
Again,
Civil and
none of
Human
these
Rights
sites
Department
are free
and the
speech.
LAPD to
Not
ensure that
one.
there is no place for hate in Los Angeles.
The only one I could truly say that might be free speech, or the closest to it, is Rumble.
Thank you,
Where they don't
Councilwoman
really
Park
bother
and
people. You can
Councilman
write what you
Blumenfield.
want.
It's
But
an
again, it's
honor,
very small
to be
compared
with
to
you all
these
to
other
mark
sites.
Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, and remember the 6 million Jews who were systematically murdered during the Shoah. We're at such a challenging time right now for all of us. It becomes even more critical to draw upon our experience
How
to
tall is
find
that
the
guy?
courage
He's
and
pretty
resilience
tall.
we need right now. The Holocaust wasn't just a moment in our history. It was and continues to be a dire warning of what happens when hatred goes unchecked and when we turn away from each other's humanity. And yet there remains a really shocking lack of knowledge about the Holocaust, especially among our younger generation. According to a poll by The Economist this past December, 20% of people between the ages of 18 and 29 believe the Holocaust was a myth, and another 30% said they didn't know. That's 50% of young people.
I
That
do
should
remember.
signal alarm bells for all of us. In a world of so much misinformation we're seeing right now in a really heightened, intense way. It's up to all of us to ensure that the memory of those who were murdered endures and that the lessons of the Holocaust aren't forgotten. And that's why the work of the Holocaust Museum LA is so important right now, especially right now.
I don't hear
I'm
Jews
really
playing
pleased,
victim. I
to
hear them
introduce the CEO of
talking about
Holocaust
it when
Museum
people
LA,
bring it up.
Beth Keane.
They don't have their hands out
The
asking for
museum is in
shit.
Council
They
District
get it
5.
done by
I'm
themselves.
so honored and privileged to represent this museum.
So,
If you
lot
haven't
of-
been,
lot
you
of
should go.
victims
It's
in this
really,
world.
An amazing space with an amazing series of
Let's
stories
be honest
to tell.
with that.
She
Let's
and her
look
team
broad
have taught
across the
millions of
board.
people around the world the lessons of the Shoah. So
Less
I
than
ask
3% of the
Councilmember Bloomfield
population on the planet.
to join me first in presenting this resolution to Holocaust Museum LA on behalf of the City of Los Angeles.
Now,
and
when
then
you
I'd like
deny
to
it, they'll bring it
invite
up.
Beth to say a few words.
Man, they got the nice frame. Surprised they're white, but they're Jewish, so maybe that makes a difference. If you're straight white, you ain't getting nothing but an O-Peachy folder. I don't know. Although they did give a few peachy folders away to a lot of folks yesterday that weren't white. So I don't know. Maybe they're getting low on Michael's frames. Michael's, if you're watching, they need some more frames. Jews are millionaires, Eamon. You're telling me there's no Jews that are not millionaires? I think you're quite off. Telling me every Jew's rich. You know why Jews succeed? I'm gonna break this down for you really quickly,
Thank you,
without having to hear her talk.
Councilwoman
They're successful, just like, let's just say, Japanese folks, for instance, are successful. They take care of each other, for the most part. I'll say it twice. For the most part, 3 times. Most of them get along. Not all of them. Not every Jew likes every Jew. Not every Japanese person likes every Japanese person. But for the most part, they get along. Okay? For the common good. And when they see somebody who's their neighbor that's that way and they're doing well, they don't hate on them because of that. Now, a lot of communities have that problem where you're doing good in the community. They're looking at you like, oh, well, he's one-upping us or she's one-upping us. Well, fuck them. Okay? They almost look like now you went from middle class to upper class because of your education, your focus, your drive. Now all of a sudden you're not who you used to be all of a sudden because you have a few more dollars in your pocket. And that's what keeps communities as a whole down. The true support of just supporting somebody you don't even know that's like you, but you don't know them. That is why a lot of Japanese folks, look at how resilient they were. They dropped 2 nuclear bombs on them in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And look at them still thriving. Because they're prosperous people. So are the Jewish folks. Hate to break that to you. And a lot of them are into education, just like Asians. Okay? Your parents yelled at you if you didn't do good in school. Made you apply yourself. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen in other communities, because surely it does. Absolutely it does. But as a whole, in those communities I just mentioned, okay, they take care of each other. And they're not all rich. That's just an asinine thing to say. That's like saying everybody who's black and brown is poor. It's just as stupid. It's just as stupid. Just as stupid.
Henry was born in 1934 in Paris.
Well, you can only be so greedy
to
without
Polish-Jewish parents.
without achieving what you
After
want.
Nazi Germany's initial occupation of France, Henry and his family
That's how that
resettled to
works.
the south of France.
I know the
where
truth
they
hurts.
remained
I
until
get it. I
1942.
understand.
When the Nazis invaded the whole country, Henry's family escaped through the Pyrenees in a dangerous journey on foot and eventually made their way to Barcelona, Spain. From Barcelona,
I hate to break it to
Henry's
you, though,
parents
but-
made the difficult decision to
but all
send
those
him to
things
the
weren't
United
created
States
by a Jewish
himself
dude.
as part of the
Christian.
First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt's
look into your
initiative to
facts
save
there, buddy.
refugee children.
Who
After
created the
war,
welfare
he moved
system?
to Los Angeles, where he
Do you know who
became
that
a
was?
professor of behavioral science.
Do you know? I'm asking. You can Google
Henry
it if you'd
shares
like
his
to.
testimony
Probably
often
don't,
with
but
student groups
Google
at
it.
Holocaust Museum LA.
Then tell me who it was in the
Students
chat.
are inspired by his
He was a
messages
president.
of courage and hope, which
A Democrat.
and now we have the privilege to hear from Henry.
Okay, and that did more damage to low-income communities than anything. And there's low-income communities of all. There's white people that are actually broke and don't have privilege, as people think and say.
Thank you very much
If
for
all
the
white people are
opportunity to
privileged, how come
speak
there's there's
on my
ones that aren't very
personal
wealthy?
experiences and views of the Holocaust and its after effects.
And how come there's
This,
people of
on a
color
very
that
special
thrive?
day, May
there's
8th,
Stacy.
is the 79th anniversary.
Because again, because they're
today
people of color, they should be
of
broke
the
and desolate,
end
right?
Of the war in
I
Europe.
mean, that's what you're saying.
VE Day,
They're all low
so it's very
IQ and low
appropriate
income,
that we
right?
meet
Well, I don't
today.
see it that way. The ones that studied
My parents,
were
who
the same
Polish-born,
ones that sat in
came
front of
to
the class
France
and maybe even got picked on by their own folks, called names out by their own folks because they sat in front of the class and applied themselves and made something better of themselves. Okay? And I'm telling you now, you don't have a whole lot of that in the other communities. That's the difference. You want me to break it down for you? I broke it down for you.
Joined him in a town called Montauban, not far from the Spanish border.
Yes, Lyndon Johnson.
We, in August of 1942,
We're going to be
our
doomed because
lives were quite
Gizmo,
normal,
you guys keep
even
going
in
over
the
the past. You're
times
living in
of
the past,
war.
bro. You might as well
There was a
wear
knock
some
on
old
the
ass
door
fucking
at 6
drive a
o'clock in the
fucking
morning.
Model T and
It was
wear
dark.
some old ass
My
wool
parents
clothing and
knew who it was.
you might as
came
well. You're
running
living in
into
the
my
past.
room
And with
and
that attitude,
awakened
you'll
me very
never live in the
quietly
present or the future.
And told me to be
Bar.
very quiet.
Tomato, thank you.
And for the next hour and a half, we sat in the dark with the gendarme knocking on the front door, and we didn't answer. Had we answered, of course, we would have been deported as about 7,000 other Jews in France that morning. Most of the Jews were aware that raffles, as they were called, roundups,
What's up, D Nice? How are you?
were taking
Happy
place.
Wednesday.
And so either many of them went
That's
into
it, James.
hiding,
And if you're
or
thinking like
as
that, you
with
dying.
our family, we simply
You're a dying plant.
ignored or awaited for them
Simon,
to leave
good to see you.
without us, which eventually they did. We, shortly after the German army occupied all of France,
We don't have community
my
pride
parents
anymore
had
in a lot
plan
of spots.
put into action
And that's a problem.
to
Hold on, guys. Shit, I didn't mean to do that. Come on.
leave the country and go to Spain,
That's what I want.
which we did on foot, illegally,
Wait, Jews in
across the
Spain? Jews aren't
Pyrenees.
in Spain.
and with guides helping us. And I should add here that had there not been
So I say,
rescuers,
Jewish folks are from
there
everywhere.
would have been no
Even
survivors. So we are here, I am here, thanks to many, not just 2 or 3, but many people, mostly unknown to me, who contributed
Oh,
to
no, he
my
doesn't,
survival.
James. None of those folks do.
My
There's an Israelite
Parents
there, a descendant right
were
there.
faced
black
with
Jew
a very
there.
difficult decision
Jewish
when
man
we
who's
were
black.
in Barcelona.
There's many of them. He ain't the only
Eleanor
one.
Roosevelt had generated a program
It's a diverse
for
group of
about
people.
100 visas for children,
diverse than you
Jewish
think it is.
children, to leave occupied or unoccupied Europe and come to America. I was very fortunate in being one of those because my parents, who at first could not separate themselves from me, decided
Right, everybody.
finally to send me to America and
I don't know if
live
Kanye
with
is.
my
Happy Hump Day, Westo. Thank
great
you.
uncle and great aunt in New
Can't
York
confirm
City.
that. I don't know anything about Kanye.
Several years later, 2.5 years later, my parents
Jack,
left
thank you. It's good to see you.
Spain, went to Cuba, and from
It stinks
Cuba,
adoptable.
eventually
Sure is.
after
Trade
the
it for a
war,
box of baseball
came
cards
to
right
New
now.
York City, where
Box of
we
Bowman,
were
you can have 'em.
reunited.
Oh, thanks, James.
Subsequently, we moved to Los Angeles in 1949, so I consider myself a 49er. And
Wait,
then I went
you a 49er, not a
to
Ram
high
fan?
school here in Los Angeles, Woodrow Wilson High School, where I graduated, then went on to UCLA and graduated. went on to Columbia and got advanced degrees, and finally finished my PhD at UCLA.
The Inquisition, what a
10
show.
years
The
later,
Inquisition.
I was
Here we go.
given a tenured position
There's your
at
girl.
the
There's
University
Stacy,
of
the
Southern
18-time Grammy
California
Award
School
winner.
of Medicine, where I taught for 53 years. My main activities, however, have been within the community in educating youngsters, where I speak several times a week
What do you mean, James? You're looking
to
at
school
one.
children, informing them that the Holocaust did take place, that brutality did occur, that innocent victims were in
Well, how
fact
did they hurt you,
the
Nika?
targets,
Put it in the chat room.
and that
Obviously
there are
you're
now,
offended
in addition, adding
by Jews.
insult
Jews
to
beat
injury,
you up or
individuals
grabbed
who
you by
are,
the headlock and drug you into a
lying
business and made you work
about
for them for
the
no
fact
money.
that the
What did they
Holocaust
exactly
took
do? Let me
place.
know. Put it in the chat room.
It's,
To you. I want to know what they
it's
did to
a
you
It's
personally.
a struggle. Having gone through the Holocaust and learned its lessons, we now have to face this resistance as part of anti-Semitism and other hate crimes to at
Nice
least
mask and hat.
try
Look at her back
to
there.
inform and educate. You heard
That's a
the
Democrat.
slogan, never again. I think that's limited. The slogan should be, never again to anyone, anywhere.
Sure they did, Gizmo. Aw,
Thank you very
I believe
much.
you. Okay, so 271,000 killed makes it any better. Let's just go by your number. Let's just say you know more than everybody else because you were born then too. Let's just say, but you weren't. But let's just say, I'll go with that. So is killing 271,000 people of the same race because you didn't like their race okay and acceptable and not, oh, but it wasn't 6 million. It was only 271,000
Henry,
over a
for
quarter
sharing.
million.
What
What an idiotic argument is
I'm
that?
just going to remind
dumb.
the people in the audience again, there will be no
Shows
disruptions
your stupidity.
of this
That's why I have you
presentation
put that shit in the chat
whatsoever.
room. You're telling on yourself, so keep on
Councilmember
doing
Yaroslawski.
it.
Thank you, Council President. I want
I
to
know
thank
you
you,
keep
Henry,
crying
for being
victim.
here
Let me guess.
and
You
for sharing
rode
your
on the
story
back of the
over
bus
and
on the
over
way
and over
here.
again.
When you got out,
It's
they
so
had to.
important,
You had to use a separate
that all
fountain and
of
all
us
that.
know
I guess.
about what happened, so
Let me
that it
guess.
can help inform what we do.
I know.
Going forward. I want to.
This
thank
is for
Beth,
you
the work
and
that you
everybody
do.
else who's complaining. That's
Council
the world's
President,
smallest
sending it back
violin
over
playing
to
the
you
world's
to
saddest
make
little
your
song
worship
just
there.
for you.
Other remarks from colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, council members and guests.
That is Stacy's just trying to get Bob
And thank you
Blumenfield's
especially for the reminder
attention, I
about
believe.
the prevalence of misinformation in our society today. It seems that much of the TikTok generation thinks that anything that happened before 1990 is ancient history. It's very easy
That
to
was
lose the
funny.
lessons of history as we examine the events of today.
Funny. That
and
was funny.
I remember during my first trip to Europe, going and visiting so many ancient places, and then I
I mean,
visited
why does
Mauthausen.
Germany have a Holocaust museum?
And,
You do know that, right?
One of
Right
the
across
things
from
that
the
was
Berlin
most
Wall.
stunning to me was the fact that everything appeared so new.
Go see it yourself.
The barbed wire wasn't
In
even
the heart of
rusted.
Berlin. In case you
And
don't know where it is.
Came rushing
Berlin,
home
Germany.
to
I
me
was there.
That although the
I showed you the
newsreel
picture of me
footage
with
that
a
I'd
big
seen
joint
growing up
standing
and
right at the
black and
wall. I
white
showed
pictures
everybody
that
that.
I'd seen growing up in school.
It's right
looked
there.
like they were from a long time ago.
I'm not talking about in
In
Jerusalem.
the March of History, they
in
were
Berlin.
an eye blink ago.
So if that didn't happen, why the fuck
And,
does Berlin put up a whole museum about it?
It was a
Berlin.
It was a clear, I think, a reminder, and all of you are reminding us again today that the danger
Brandon? Good
of
morning.
recurrence
Happy Wednesday.
is never far from us if we don't remember the lessons of the past. So
It is
thank
bloodbath,
you
and I
all
assure you,
very,
you go
very
fly
much for
that
this
shit over
very
there and go see what
important,
happens.
Somber.
They don't take kindly to it. You'll
Presentation.
be arrested. And in fact, the police department is right across the street. You
now,
could
if
throw a
you
baseball at
would
it
like
from
to just
the
go ahead and
from the
proceed right
Berlin
into the
Wall.
next-
Yeah, I think we will.
And the
So,
and
we're also
and the
celebrating Jewish
Holocaust
American
Museum.
Heritage Month.
So there is that.
Thank you so much, Beth and Henry, for being with us.
Why is Stinky
Um,
bad? He's not. He just went out of the room. He moved
Next, I'd like to ask Capri Maddox, who's the Executive Director of the Los Angeles Civil and Human Rights and
He just
Equity
keeps
Department, to
moving.
say a few words
There you
as
go.
we kick
See,
off
as soon as I put the
this
camera, he
second
walks away.
presentation.
That's why. Got tired of
Capri-
doing that.
Thank you so much,
What's up, Samantha?
Councilmember
Shout out to you in Iowa.
Yaroslavsky. I appreciate
The
all the
rest of
members
Iowa.
of council, of course, Council President. The occasion of the Holocaust
I don't know who-
remembrance is a constant
Hastan?
reminder
I don't know.
of the need for us to
Hasatan? I
answer
don't
a
know.
higher calling of humanity and service. It's about acknowledging the past, of course, and honoring the millions of lives who were lost. But we need to, that were lost, but we also need to keep an eye towards the future. A future that's free of hate, and any way
The
that we
Treasury
are
prints money, Christian.
dehumanizing
Again, you're
people
wrong. There
anywhere
might be some
around
Jewish
the
folks that are
world
there.
is a challenge. And
But the
you
Treasury
should know
prints
that
it.
it's been said that history does not repeat itself. Human beings repeat
Thank you, Amy
history.
C. I
And
appreciate
in
you,
this
Amy.
room, we have so many deep connections to the Jewish community, those who have personal stories. I saw a gentleman just now give a picture of his camp to Mr. Henry. I was raised up. I can't
We get
call
it,
you
though,
Henry.
Christian. You
You're
just
Mr.
hate
Henry
Jews.
to me.
That's fine.
But I want you to know
It's
that
okay.
some families were permanently altered,
That's it. I
separated.
understand there's a lot of
and there are so many
anti-Semites in the
people who
world.
are here in this room
That's just
today
it.
because your families
You can write all of what you want to write, but it's glaringly
but
obvious
still, the
that you hate them.
trauma of history repeating itself or human beings repeating history is something that we
Box
deal
in the
with
hospital? Hope
in
not.
this community and many communities.
thought he was joking
all
about
over
that
the world.
call.
And so at LA Civil Rights, we
There's
stand
Steven Spielberg,
to
by the
say
way.
that hate
Front-
has
I'm pretty
no
sure that's
home
Steven Spielberg
in Los
sitting down
Angeles. And we
in
are
the front
alarmed
row.
by the increase of hate crimes that
Pretty
are
sure.
happening here in Los Angeles and, of course, around the world. We know that in talking about repairing the world, a lot of people say commonly, like, they can't fix the world. But we have partners that have made a commitment to actually repair the world.
And Randy, you know
And I
what?
can't
As
be
an
honored
American,
more
he
than
can
to
do that.
be
It's
with
his
some of
right,
these
but
organizations
he doesn't have
that
the guts to
stand
say
on a
it.
regular
And just like he
basis
doesn't have the guts to just say he hates
take
Jewish
on
people.
the mantle of actually
He just
repairing
giving you this
the
little
world
shit
in
here,
your
this little
service.
quib there, a little
I-
chirp
even
here, a little
thinking
chirp
about
there
my
that are
Vet
anti-Semitic
Legal Services, it
with
gave me my
dumb
first
facts.
paid job,
Apparently,
as
there's
a law
nobody
clerk,
besides Jews
where I started my legal
at
career
the
too. Our
Treasury,
friends
and the
at
Treasury doesn't
Jewish
make the money.
Federation
Jews
and,
print the money in their
and
backyards.
HIS.
Jewish
I mean,
money
just to
trees.
think about the work that
Didn't
is
you know?
happening
They all
in these
have 'em.
spaces is something that we appreciate.
Just
and we
like space
appreciate you
lasers,
all
too.
Doing your part to repair the world. I want to let you know that at LA
That's the
Civil
starter-
Rights,
the
we
Jew
want to
starter kit.
honor, all the
Get your
contributions
space
and the beautiful
laser, your
mosaic of
yarmulke,
Los Angeles.
and your money
that is
tree.
why we
Don't you
have
know
our
that's how it
various
works?
Heritage
I
Month
thought you already knew.
celebrations to fight hate and discrimination on the offensive and defensive. We want to let people know we are here for you as you celebrate and as you mourn. And
But remember,
today
Aaron,
is a
better than them being
combination
real,
of
they're
those
all
moments.
Jewish
And so,
lasers, little
although
stars
we
of Davids
commemorate
in them,
here,
probably.
I want us to go into our next setting and to celebrate all that the Jewish community has given.
And that, what
done
does that got to
for
say about the
Los
larger
Angeles,
races that
and
only
especially for those that are
2.9% of the
particularly
entire
brave
planet
in
runs
these
everything?
tough times with
How
things
could that
going
even
on,
be?
in other parts of the world. So with that, I'm asking you to keep the faith and keep the faith. Thank you.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say. I didn't make it up. Somebody else said it.
Jewish
Directed
American
energy
Heritage
weapons
Month
are real.
pays tribute
Our-
to the
our
generation of
government
Jewish
uses them.
Americans who've helped
I
form the
just doubt
fabric
that
of
they
American
were
history,
created
our
by
culture,
Jews,
and our
owned
society.
by Jews.
It was created by presidential decree in 2006.
Stupid, dude.
And May was
Dumb.
chosen as Jewish American Heritage Month due to the highly successful celebration organized by the Commission for commemorating 350 years of American Jewish history. In 2017, the city of Los Angeles began having
That
an
ain't
official
Woody Allen. Woody
celebration
Allen's older than that.
of Jewish American Heritage Month, or JAM,
Woody Allen's gotta be
highlighting
really
Jewish
old,
Angelinos.
old right now.
This year's theme is Jewish LA, a legacy of service. And with that, I'm proud to join my colleagues today in celebrating Jewish-led service organizations and their commitment to serving the broader community. And just to note, organizations being honored are standing up. In fact, all of you stand up who are being honored. We're going to recognize them a little bit later with some certificates in the back.
Yeah, she looks
but we're
just
not
like
gonna
her
do
dad
that
with that strong jaw, Loam.
So I'm
Google
gonna
Zev
introduce and
Yaroslavsky,
recognize
then
one
you'll see who her
organization,
dad
Jewish,
is.
Family Services. And
The
then
apple didn't
other
fall
elected
far. She
officials. My
definitely
colleagues
looks
are
more
going to
like
be
her dad than her mom.
Introducing other organizations, and we'll go from there. So, Jewish Family Services,
What are you jumping
organization that provides life-improving services
this bag,
that helps
you hate
the
it.
people of Los Angeles live with
Any
dignity
crinkle of
and
this
exercise
bag is
self-determination.
like so skittish.
JFS
Weird.
addresses a variety of critical needs, ranging from food insecurity,
Don't tell everybody
domestic
else that,
violence,
Fubar.
aging support, mental health, special needs skills, as well as supportive services for children and families. Jewish values require, and the actions
Chili
of
dogs?
JFSLA
Don't you
demonstrate, a commitment to serving everyone
I haven't had a chili
in the
dog
Los
in a
Angeles
while.
community, all
I can't even
backgrounds,
remember the
all
last time I had
identities.
one.
So I want to thank Jewish Family Services for making our
Maybe a
city
Tommy's
better for all.
chili dog. They're too big though.
Thank you. And then next I want to highlight the work of Tomche LA. Tomche LA is an organization dedicated to serving vulnerable individuals in the Jewish Orthodox community. The organization delivers culturally sensitive services and emphasizes dignity and discretion when working to meet the community's specific needs.
Yeah, I don't think that's George.
It does so through a variety
I
of
look at it
services,
from the side.
including food banks, vocational support services,
Stephen, rather.
providing
Steven's
essential goods and beyond. Let's give it up for Tomhe, LA.
Keith Davis, don't eat
And
a
now I'm
Hebrew
going
National
to
Loam.
pass it to Councilwoman Yaroslavsky for
All
the
of a
next
sudden you'll be
introduction.
rich and powerful and run the world and have a
Thank
laser
you,
in your
Capri
backyard and a
Councilmember
tree that
Blumenfield.
makes money.
Colleagues, it's my honor to recognize two amazing
Hopefully you see my face.
Jewish-led organizations today in celebration of Jewish American Heritage Month, ETA and our Big Kitchen LA. And I want to note that most, if not all, of these organizations are Jewish-led, but they serve our entire community. And many, if not most, of the folks these groups serve aren't Jewish. So just because it has Jewish in the name or we're recognizing it today doesn't mean that they're not serving all Angelinos. As Jews, we spend a lot of time talking about the horrors of the Holocaust and about rising anti-Semitism in the United States. And as you just heard, it's because we have to. But amid all of that pain, we also are doing
One's
a lot
a
of
terrorist
important work
organization,
celebrating Jewish joy
Miranda.
and
One is
love and
not.
all the things that make us
One
proud
is a
to be
people-
Jewish on a daily basis. And for
multicultural.
me, part of what makes me
The other
proud
is a
to be a
terrorist
Jew is the
organization.
culture of social justice, community building, and mutual aid. And there are a few greater examples
Bye,
of that
Calamity
spirit
Girl.
in action than
How are
ETA and our Big Kitchen LA. ETA serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families and is one of the premier providers of such services on the West Coast. ETA helped Alex Heldman secure an internship with my office a few months ago, and he's been a phenomenal addition to our team. I encourage all of you to take a fellow or an intern if you're not already. ETA is a great organization, and they're looking to place more folks. We also have our Big Kitchen LA, a community-run,
I wouldn't bang her
non-denominational
with your
kitchen that
dick,
provides
Tamayo.
meals to those in need throughout Los Angeles. In the last year, OBKLA held 235 cooking sessions. They're a lot of fun. You should check them out, which engaged more than 13,000 volunteers and resulted in feeding 70,000
tonight?
people
Thank you,
in need,
Oscar. Check that one
70,000
out.
Angelinos in need
Should be
around the
nice and
city.
dark.
So please join me in giving
About
both
dark, I
organizations
guess,
a
at that time.
round
About
of
8
applause.
o'clock, completely done with the sundowns usually an hour ahead of that.
And if you can stand,
37.
that would be great too, if you're here. I want to introduce my colleague,
It ain't time to eat,
Councilwoman
fat boy.
Park, who's going to be making a
stop
couple
it.
of presentations as well.
13 minutes will feed you. Okay? You're always early,
Thank you,
every day.
Council President, and thank you, Councilwoman Yaroslavsky, for your leadership in today's presentation. And I also want to give a special welcome to the members of the Jewish community who are here today from Council District 11. Jewish American Heritage Month is
Wonder what
a
district
great moment
where that
to
is.
appreciate the diverse experiences and contributions from the Jewish community across the United States, but especially right here in Los Angeles. With our city being home to the
I feel
third
better,
largest
Calamity
Jewish
Girl.
community of
Everybody
any
sick?
city in the world,
Everybody
it's
has a
no
little
surprise
cold
that
or
the
something.
community has a
going
long,
around?
vibrant, and impactful history
had it.
right here in LA. As we focus on this year's Jewish American Heritage Month and the theme of service, I am proud to join my colleagues in recognizing Bet Zedek for their incredible work and all that they do to provide free legal services and educational resources to
sound mad, Cody.
underserved communities across Los Angeles. As an attorney myself, I know how much of a difference proper representation can have on a case and in someone's life. In addition to the organizations being recognized today, the Jewish community in Los Angeles has made countless contributions to our city. From Casper Kahn, whose leadership laid the foundation for the Cedar-Sinai Hospital, to Councilwoman Roz Wyman, who brought the Dodgers to Los Angeles, Jewish Angelenos have made an indelible mark in our city, and I'm proud to stand with my colleagues today and throughout the month, but especially today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Next, we're going to have our city controller,
Come on, man. Let's
Controller
wrap this
Mejia,
shit.
come and
Especially this
introduce
piece of shit who told us how helicopters, LAPD is just wasting their money on helicopters. Helicopters
so
don't do
much.
anything. Get the fuck
I'd like
outta
to
here.
honor High Lifeline. High Lifeline is a support network providing social, emotional, and practical
he had some
assistance to
almond
children,
milk and some soy
families,
before
and
he got on the
communities
stage
impacted
here.
by medical crises and trauma through a variety of year-round programs and services. Their trailblazing programs provide practical, emotional,
high off of soy.
and recreational support to all families. All their services are free of charge and provided with sensitivity, discretion, and compassion. Please give it up for High Lifeline. In addition, we want to recognize Jewish Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Los Angeles. Jewish
is
Big
young.
Brothers, Big Sisters of Los Angeles assist youth in achieving their full potential through innovative,
He's the city
impactful
controller,
programs,
Matt.
including through mentorship, teen programming, college support, and enriching programming with Camp Bob Waldorf. Please give it up for Jewish Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Los Angeles. Next, I'd like to bring up Council Member John Lee.
He has big teeth. Ooh,
First of all,
gold
thank you to
frame
my colleagues
plaque.
for putting together
I'm
this
gonna say
very
no. I
important
think they already
day,
got their
and to
plaque.
other organizations
We already saw it.
that are
It
joining
was
us.
red,
Has been
regular
said,
Michael's
we are
frame.
highlighting
Pretty sure.
organizations in the Jewish community that not only serve
Or
the
maybe
Jewish
that was the
community, but
first
serve
person and they'll give
the
you
entire
another one
city
out.
of Los
I'm
Angeles.
going with red,
And I'm
cherry
very
red
proud to be
frame.
able to highlight two of those. I'd like to share my appreciation for two organizations here with us today. The first one being Wise Readers to Leaders. If they could stand up, I believe they're here. A
Again,
nonprofit
these people are
organization
voters.
dedicated to
They're going to
closing the
pander as
literacy
much as they can to
achievement
get the
gap for
votes from
youth
these people
from underserved communities
that actually
and
go out
to
and vote.
nurturing future leaders to help create a more diverse and more inclusive
Whether it's a good or bad
world.
vote, it
Can we
is
have
what
a
it
please
is.
round of applause
Morning, Mike.
for our Wise Leaders?
You know, and that's just how it works. Hi, Jersey girl. Good morning.
The second organization that I'm proud to recognize is the Karsh Center. The Karsh Center is an organization that works to improve the lives of the underserved
Still milky. You
communities
can't even see
by
my
assessing
face.
community needs,
All right, everybody.
collaborating with other mission-aligned service providers, and providing direct services and promoting volunteerism here in the city of Los Angeles. Big round of applause for Karsh.
Kat, thank you so much again for that huge donation the other day, Kat, at the end of the show. I may have
And now
missed
it's
it, and
my
I
honor to
apologize to
introduce
you,
my
Kat.
colleague, Nithya Rump.
I was talking about it in yesterday's show. I didn't see you in the chat, but thank you so much, Kat.
Hello,
always,
everyone.
For all the support
I am
you always
really
give.
so proud to be here with all of my colleagues. Thank you to council members Blumenfield and Yaroslavsky and Park for leading today's
Thank you
presentation.
again, Kat.
And I'm very, very excited to be here to celebrate Jewish American Heritage Month by taking a moment to reflect on these incredible organizations that have given so much back to our society. And because I am only here because I'm so competitive, I'm excited because I think my organizations are the best. I'm excited to recognize today Beit Teshuvah and Hayes. And we have Adam Siegel and Joe Goldman here today from these organizations. Founded in 1987, Beit Teshuvah is a residential addiction treatment center, congregation, and educational institute, which operates a 138-bed residential program and offers a wide
you
range
rock,
of addiction
Kat.
treatment
Thank you
services,
so much for everything.
including intervention services, alternative sentencing, gambling treatment, and support for families, as well as a
Again,
professional clinical
we get
training
it, Christian.
program
You
with
hate
internship
Jews.
training for psychology and social work
We get it.
students, a youth addiction prevention program, and a special
We get it.
program that works in partnership with synagogues and Jewish institutions.
You don't have to
The
dance
thing that
around
really
it.
moved
Be a
me about
man.
this
Show your
organization
balls
was
and
their
just
philosophy.
do it.
Beit Teshuvah believes that every single person has a right to redemption, which is why they have never turned a single soul away due to their inability to pay. And I found this so meaningful.
And apparently
in
every
learning
Jew is
more
an
about their
elitist.
work. So
just
thank
in
you,
case
and let's give a big round
any
of
of you
applause.
guys
to
were,
Beit Teshuva.
every one of them have privilege. Every one of them is rich. Every one of them runs the world, and they all have space lasers.
And next, I wanted to highlight the work of HIAS, the world's oldest refugee agency, having served thousands of Jews who fled pogroms in Europe, oppression in the former Soviet Union, the revolution in Iran, and now is a worldwide humanitarian aid and advocacy organization. And I'm really proud to say that here in Los Angeles, HIAS has mobilized 20 different synagogue communities, including Council District 4's own Temple Israel of Hollywood, to help resettle over 100 people from Afghanistan and Ukraine in a groundbreaking private sponsorship model, which is so inspiring to hear about. HIAS
They
is
should,
continuing to
Charlos.
work
Good to see
day
you.
in and day out to resettle
Morgan.
refugees from around the world here in Los Angeles and Orange County, and to mobilize Angelinos
Come on,
to
let's
help
get this
people who are
going. Let's
forcibly
get our show
displaced
on the
by
road.
conflicts, gender-based
Please.
violence, anti-LGBTQ+ oppression, and more across 5 continents and 24 countries, and I am so proud to be honoring them today. Let's give them a big round of applause. And now I'd like to invite my colleague, Councilmember Heather Hutt, to recognize
Jesus.
2 more.
Every single person has to get up and recognize
you.
9 people.
Good morning. Today I'm
Ah.
excited to highlight 2 incredible organizations that exemplify the spirit of service and innovation.
So now Jews are
First, I'd
countries?
like to
Got it,
highlight the
Cody.
work of the Jewish Los
Boy,
Angeles
you've got a
Special
high
Needs
IQ.
Trust, which ensures that people with disabilities can achieve a fulfilling life.
I
The
would
JLA
stop talking
Trust
right now,
empowers
Cody.
people
You're
with
really making
disabilities,
yourself look as ignorant as we know you are.
independence, and brings peace of mind to many
I
families
get it.
in the city.
You're,
Many
feeble-minded and
government
you're
benefit
not of
programs
high
like
IQ at
SSI
all.
are vital for people with
So it
disabilities.
angers you when you see
but
anybody
set
do
eligibility
good.
limits
And
to
maybe you grew up around a lot of Jewish folks that did well for themselves and you're
Special Needs
angry.
Trust serves as a legal, affordable
Look at
way
Stacy putting
for
up a
people
free
with
Palestine.
disabilities to use, save,
Free
and
Palestine,
invest money,
you see
while
that?
not
She wrote it
compromising
on a
their
paper.
access to other essential supportive services. The Jewish LA Special Needs Trust empowers people with disabilities, fosters independence, and brings peace of mind to families that
Look,
have
can you see it back
worries
there?
about what the future looks like.
Look, homie
Let's
just
give a big
purposely
round
went on top of
applause
it and
for
blocked
Jewish
it out.
Los Angeles Special Needs.
Remember when the mayor did that? Oh, not the mayor, I'm sorry.
And next,
the
I'd like to
president.
highlight
Did it here the other day?
Shemesh, that's it, right. Shemesh Farms. Shemesh Farms is
Now
a
you
farm
talk
social
about yourself in the
enterprise
third
and an
person? That was
innovative,
definitely the push overboard. That's
Shalom
how we know you're a
Institute for
weirdo.
young adults with special
Anybody who talks
needs.
about themselves
They
in the
not
third
only
person
provide
is
fresh
straight crazy.
organic food, but also cultivate a sense of belonging, purpose, and pride for these young adults.
Again, thank you for telling
These
on
farm
yourself.
fellows with diverse abilities help run the enterprise and are an integral part of every aspect of the operation.
every keystroke,
they
you
farm,
look
they plant,
more
they
dumb
harvest, and
with
grow
every
herbs that are
keystroke.
curated to become certified kosher organic spice blends that are then sold at local farmers markets and on the online store. Shemesh Farms not only provides fresh organic food, but also a sense of purpose. Thank you. Shemesh Farms.
I know, Randy. Yet they sit there and still watch one, too.
I have one more organization, I think appropriate closer
Best thing ever.
for this incredible lineup of amazing service organizations.
Thank you, Jim.
Talking about the Jewish Federation. Founded in 1911, the Jewish Federation of Greater Los Angeles convenes and leads the community and
Yeah, the
leverages its
Stooges were
resources to
Jewish. Yeah,
assure the
absolutely.
continuity of the Jewish people,
Feinbergs,
support a
Larry
secure state of
Feinberg,
Israel,
Larry.
care for Jews in need in
Will
Los
Howard,
Angeles and
Howard
abroad,
family.
and mobilize on issues of concern to the local community,
There's
all
my
within its
girlfriend in the
local,
back,
national,
all the way to the left, back.
and in conjunction with its local,
here.
national, and international partners. Speaking on behalf of JFED, here is Dorit Haroni, JFED LA Caring for Jews in Need, and she's a steering committee member, and so we've asked her to say a few words. Dorit.
Good morning. Good morning, esteemed
up,
council
Logic
members
Lurker?
and community members. My name is Dorit Haroni. I serve as a committee member for the Los Angeles Jewish Federation's Caring for Jews in Need initiative. and I also serve as the chair of NAMI Westside Los Angeles National Alliance on Mental Illness. It is an honor to be here today as we recognize Jewish American Heritage Month, JAM. JAM is a special time for my community. It is an opportunity for us to reflect on the contributions Jews in Los Angeles have made on society by honoring our legacy and celebrating our diversity. We also believe in shining a light on darkness. As we celebrate, we see JAM as an important way to combat anti-Semitism and also all forms of hate. We do this by fostering greater
Again, Gizmo,
understanding,
you can't. She's
knowledge,
Jewish.
and
You
appreciation
can't have a
for the
sex with a
significant
Jewish
role
woman. How
Jews
dare you?
have
You hate
played
Jews too,
and
don't you?
continue
Weren't you
to
one of the
play
ones?
in sharing our nation's
Maybe you weren't. I don't
cultural,
know.
economic, and social landscape. Thank you for being partners with us this week. This year's theme, A Legacy of Service, is especially close to my heart. At the Jewish Federation, service is a large part of what we do. In fact, most of the organizations that we have been organized today are directly supported by contributions made by the Los Angeles Jewish community. We fiercely believe in living by the Jewish values of service to others. We are proud and passionate about this commitment and our partnership that contribute to this principle. Whether this is through supporting essential services for those in need, or mobilizing our active volunteer network of 5,000 community members who set up to help multiple times a year, all year round. We will remain dedicated to strengthening the safety net and providing special service to the most vulnerable across Los Angeles.
Not according to Christian.
And this is true with the Jewish community as well. Nearly 20% of local Jewish residents report they're being unable to make ends meet.
Wait
or
a
just
minute.
managing
They're
to
not
make
rich
ends meet.
millionaires?
Around 50%
You're wrong.
of
Christian
Holocaust
just told us.
survivors live at or below poverty line. But through our partnership with the incredibly vast, skilled, and generous Jewish social service organizations we have in LA, we effectively serve Holocaust survivors and older adults, individuals and families, college students, young professionals, people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and those from various backgrounds and communities. Just last year, we served over 51,000 individuals and fielded over 900 calls to the JFED helpline. And of those served, 94% indicated that these services improved their quality of life. 92% reported an improvement or stabilization of their well-being.
Thank you.
And 87% indicated improvement in mental health thanks to the services. Speaking firsthand, I know about power and impact of these services. As
You know there's
Jewish,
Latin Jews too,
Persian
before you see that,
Jewish
and it
heritage
shocks you too, right?
refugee that I am, my family and I,
So get ready
the
to see
recipients
that
of
one.
such social services from JFED LA,
Don't let it shock you.
Jewish Family Service, and
Jews
HIAS,
are from
which was
everywhere.
recognized earlier. If it had not been for
Sprinkled.
this essential support, my family would not have been able to flee persecution from Iran. And we certainly would have not
Oh, you hate
been
all
able
Jews,
to
not just
successfully adjust
Ashkenazi.
to our new lives and
You hate
after
the
arriving
Hasidic,
in Los
you hate
Angeles.
them all.
My personal
Be
story
honest.
is just one of hundreds of thousands. Jewish nonprofits have made have impacted the lives of many Angelenos for the better. And I know this legacy of service will continue to help many more in need of support. Thank you to the City of Los Angeles for this
They've been around
meaningful
centuries,
recognition.
Dees, so.
We'll now play a brief video showcasing the impact of these incredible Jewish organizations that are here today.
Yeah, I don't know where her accent so. She might be Israeli. Hold on. This is probably like some symphony fucking shit, and I don't want to get another copyright strike like I did yesterday for the Croatian music. Sandy Koufax, there you go, Lenny Kravitz. This guy that I was just telling you, Steven Spielberg, that I still think is possibly in the audience right there. And I could be wrong. Okay? Some of the people that you love. I know because they have darker skin than some others, they couldn't be. I hate to break that to you. Like, there's Latino people that are really light and some that are very dark. Same in the black community. You have some that are very dark. You have some that are so light. Skin pigmentation doesn't mean anything unless you're somebody that only sees color, like I was talking about last night when someone was telling me, but when you go there, it's like, this or that type of people. I'm like, it's sad that you can't even go to a sporting event and not think about race and just go and have a good time, no matter who's there. It's like you're not even giving it a chance, even if you're right and it is, all one way in that room or in that sporting event. Like, it's sad to see how closed you are in a box and how programmed you are. I mean, maybe it's because I grew up in a place where at my school there was a ton of everybody. Ton of Koreans, tons of Russians, tons of black kids, and tons of Latino kids that were from Ecuador and Salvador and Mexico and everywhere. Okay? Tons of Asian folks from everywhere. There was Chinese kids too. There was Japanese kids too. So maybe that's because every school I went to, that's kind of what it was. It was a melting pot. And there was no dominant of one group. No domination, rather, of one group. And maybe it's because I grew up that way. I don't know. My two really good friends, I'll just leave.
Downtown to be here and join us.
Just saying.
And Council President, I'd like to turn it
That's how
over
it
to you
works.
for any remarks from colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're not going to
council
get through
members
this
and
one.
Guests, I'd like to call first on Councilmember De Leon.
We're 56 minutes into this one thing. I'm
Thank
going
you
to go
much,
feed.
Mr. President, to my colleagues on the council, thank you very much for the
You ready to eat?
presentation that you have done for all of us around the horseshoe. Today, as we stand
All
in
right.
the mosaic of Los Angeles,
Multiple
diverse
ethnicities,
cultures
yes.
and histories, we honor Jewish
What's
heritage.
up, Richard
Month.
Clark?
And remember Yom HaShoah,
Just pissing people
a
off with
solemn
a bunch of
tribute
Jewish
to
facts.
6 million
Cody's
lives
mad at me.
that
Christian's
were
mad
lost
at me.
during the Holocaust.
They're all mad at me.
We also celebrate the indelible mark left by the Jewish community on our own city, and I'm honored to represent one of those neighborhoods.
Well, we don't need to
This great
send money
city,
to anybody,
the neighborhood
Cody, in
of
my
Ball
opinion.
Heights.
Not to
Because for
Ukraine,
many folks
not
who
to
don't know the
Israel,
history,
not to
in the early
San
20th
Salvador
century,
if they want to
the
fight a
20s
war.
and the
Nobody.
30s, Ball Heights,
Nobody.
in the 40s as well. and
We
50s.
send money to
Ball
America
Heights was
and
a
help
haven
Americans.
for Jewish
How's that?
immigrants from all over the world seeking refuge and a new beginning. In fact, Ball Heights at one time, 40% of the neighborhood population were of Jews, Ashkenazis, as well as Sephardic Jews. The Breed Street Shul, once a cornerstone of Jewish life, echoed with prayers, and the streets were lined with shops and bore the dreams of new Americans. In fact, what is today as Cesar Chavez was at the time Brooklyn Avenue. Now, personally, I wish that they would change Whittier Boulevard to Cesar Chavez and left Brooklyn Avenue as is, but I wasn't there at the time. But a lot of folks don't know that the Breed Street Shul was the largest Orthodox synagogue west of Chicago. Population was very, very huge. This neighborhood was a vibrant tapestry woven with Yiddish, Spanish, as well as Japanese, and the universal language of hope. Now, as the time moved forward, the Jewish community began to migrate to other parts of Los Angeles, and a new wave of dreamers filled the streets of Los Angeles because the covenants were broken up. The outlawed, Jewish and African Americans and Latinos and Asian Americans from living certain parts of the city, which at that time, quite frankly, was controlled by the WASP political machine or operation or the intelligentsia class. That was the reality. And that's why so many folks, whether you be Ashkenazi or you be Sephardic, were concentrated almost entirely in the Ball Heights neighborhood. But the imprint of the Jewish community on Ball Heights, quite frankly, is permanent. Even though 90 to 95% of the population today is Latino. Today, the echoes of the past are not whispers, but conversations between old friends. Latino and Jewish leaders stand together against injustice, understanding that our fights for equality are bound by common threads of history and humanity. And as we honor our Jewish sisters and brothers and their rich heritage, I'm reminded of the powerful lesson one neighborhood alone, Ball Heights, teaches us about our bonds, our strength lies in our diversity, our unity, and our shared stories. And perhaps there may be a Mexican restaurant or a Jewish deli one day that's going to serve a pozole with matzo ball in it too, bring us together even closely. I like a good matzo ball soup with a little Tabasco and a little lemon, with a nice kick to it, if you haven't tried it yet. So let us carry forward the legacy of unity and understanding, honoring those who came before us and built lasting relationships between communities. In remembering, we rise. In honoring, we hope. In celebrating, we forge a path toward a brighter, more inclusive future. And lastly, Mr. President, as well as colleagues, I do want to mention that the world has turned upside down.
Is he lying again? He's
on
still
us in many
talking?
ways.
Man,
And
he's been talking the
alliances
whole
have been
time.
splintered.
Took me a
they
minute,
have been
2
broken.
minutes to go
Historic
feed him and wash
alliances,
my
these
hands.
bonds have been so tightly woven together over so many decades of
Hold on, I need some.
just fighting in the trenches for human civil rights for all individuals, regardless of who you are, where you come from, regardless of which God you love, and who you pray to, in regards to the color of your skin, and yes, regardless of your
Fucking
legal
Ian.
status, because we're all
De
human beings
Leon's
that
toupee.
deserve dignity and respect.
All right, I
remember
want
when
to see
had
it in the chat
opportunity to
room.
visit Yad
Look at
Vashem,
his hair. Please
and it was a
be
very
honest in the
powerful
chat room. Or Matt,
experience
was it you,
for me,
Matt? Thank you, Matt.
Going,
Sorry, I thought it was
going
Ian.
near the Gaza Strip, and going up north.
I want to ask you guys
Golan
something.
Heights, just
Yes or no in the
to
chat
see
room?
The southern part of
Yes.
of
Oh my God! Look who's there.
And the world,
Look
as
who's
we know
there.
today, again, has turned
Mr.
upside
Herman.
down and all.
Holy shit!
Let me say
Mr. Herman just walked in,
is
bro.
that it is
You're kidding me.
Paging Mr.
not
Herman.
exclusive.
Yes or no? Is that a toupee?
Where you can have a profound policy difference
Yes,
on
it's
what
a wig,
happens
yes.
in Gaza or in the
Yes.
West
Wow,
Bank.
you guys all
And if
really?
one doesn't
Am I
like
just?
the
Am I
current
not? My eyes that bad?
administration, Bibi Netanyahu, and the current cabinet,
No, it's not. Yes,
then
no.
that doesn't,
Terry says no.
that's okay, because I know I have my perspective as well too.
There's a lot of
Being
no's in there
and
now
uplifting
too.
the Israeli
A lot of
community,
yeses.
which we have
Look
the
how
second
divided we
largest
are.
in the world, right here in Los Angeles.
Dang it.
And as one of my
I
colleagues
thought you
just
guys would
mentioned,
be
the third
either way,
largest
one
Jewish
way.
American community.
And I get my final
other,
answer. I guess we're gonna have to go up
nationalities
to him
from
and
all over
grab
the
it.
world, being
See if it
here
comes
in the
off.
city of LA. You can find the policies abhorrent, but you can also uplift the people of Israel as well too. They're not exclusive of each other. In fact, they're quite inclusive of each other. And when I heard too how a certain demographic may have not even be aware of the Holocaust or deny the Holocaust altogether, shows you what can happen when narratives and algorithms hit through social media platforms.
Saying it's just
when
colored
people have
differently?
Terrible political agendas to divide communities.
Oh,
against
Spindler!
each
Look at
other.
him walking in with his
We can
coffee.
actually come together and support one another.
him,
And more than ever, that's what we have
Spindler,
to do.
Herman,
Regardless of where one may
Stacy,
be
my
on the
girlfriend in
political
the back.
perspective.
There's four
But we
rigs.
have no place for anti-Semitism because the Jewish American community is part of the fabric of who we are in the great city of LA. Great folks like Meyer Luskin, from Roosevelt High School. So I know personally, have a close relationship with, and many folks here as well too. He is from the hard-scrabble streets of Boyle Heights, and he was a fighter himself too, right there. So he stood up for himself. And that's why when we come together, we can do incredible things together. Facts matter, not visceral, emotional
But I'll
truths
give him something.
driven by algorithms on social media
speaks from the
platforms.
heart.
And that's why we need to
Doesn't
come
say
together more
every
than
2
ever
minutes. He's
and
well
be there
spoken.
for each other.
Like him or
That's
not,
why
which I
just want
don't.
to celebrate my colleagues who are uplifting.
But
the
I like to look at the
contributions
apple
and
from
the
every
footprint
angle.
of the Jewish American community, and also
You don't see him with a
remembering what happened.
notepad with what he
Remember what happened in
wrote
World
down,
War
and then he
II.
stumbles over it.
And it can happen again and again and again.
So
and you hear the echoes
let's look
of
at it from
once
every
again
angle.
here.
He's a
That's why
racist
we
in a
must stand
sense.
together as
He
one,
got caught on
one
tape
Los
saying
Angeles.
all
Thank you very
those
much,
bad
Mr.
things,
President. Thank you,
including
Mr.
talking about Jewish people.
Thank
by
you
the
very
way.
much, Mr. De Leon.
So he was being anti-Semitic in those tapes too. Let's
just
not
wanna
mistake that.
Thank
This
our
is pandering
colleagues for helping us
101.
to celebrate
And
so
unfortunately,
many
a lot of these
organizations that
folks
are making
do
such
like
an
to
enormous
vote
contribution to
to
all
their
of Los
party.
Angeles
So this
today.
is the way to
And
earn
as
the
we
vote back or
celebrate
continue the
Jewish
vote.
Heritage Month, it's important
They
to
need the power.
recognize,
They have to
all
have
of
the
these,
vote. They're
efforts
power-hungry
that
people.
Everybody among
They're power
those
pigs.
organizations is making to improve and uplift Los Angeles. But let's also take a minute
that's just
to
how it works.
remember and
Okay?
acknowledge that Jewish heritage is Los Angeles heritage. And Jewish organizations
and let's be really
Jewish
honest
leaders
here.
have been
Let's put
influencing
Jewish
and
folks to the
shaping
side
and
for a moment.
building
They don't
the
give a
city
fuck
as
about
long
nobody.
as we have had a city.
They care
the
about
first
none of you.
Member of
They
this
care
city
about
council,
getting your vote.
The
They've
first
got
Jewish
it. They're in
member of
power.
this city council
When it comes
was
time
on the
to
first city
rerun again,
council that
same
we
thing,
had
same
since
shit,
we,
same cycle.
Became
Pretend to care.
since California became a state.
That's it.
When the first council was formed. The first Shabbat
Again, I would
services
assume it's a
took
high. I don't know if
place
it's
in
95, 50 cal.
The
but
first
there-
Jewish
I would say that there's
organization
quite a
in
few
Los
that
Angeles
do.
to serve the needs of Jews and others in
I mean,
need here in
I
Los
assure you,
Angeles.
you know one
was
that
created in
doesn't.
1854. So this is
So
a
there's
long
that.
and rich heritage.
And I'm sure that
And
one
since
couldn't
then,
be the only one.
There is virtually no civic organization
And
in
I
our
think the
city
story that
that
spun is
hasn't
something
been
like you're giving.
positively influenced, led,
You know, most
supported,
statistics are
by
false.
Jewish American
you know,
Angelenos.
who did you get
In
this
fact, the
stat
only
from?
exception to that
Did you count
are
them?
the organizations that specifically excluded Jews.
And I also want to
because of
say,
the rampant
temperament
and
for the last 4
grotesque
years has changed
anti-Semitism,
dramatically
that has
for
been
lots
part
of
our
different
history
communities,
as
including
well.
the Jewish
And
community.
Despite that,
Okay.
Jewish
So
American
this November should be
Angelenos have
an
persisted
eye-opening vote if
in
it's
building
if
the
it's a
city and making
legitimate
it a better
election.
place for all of us, and we're all
And either way, like I
incredibly
told
grateful
you,
for that history,
either way,
and for your continuing
way,
service to Los Angeles.
You're
So,
going to have a
colleagues,
whole,
thank you all very, very
a
much.
whole lot of going on in November. I don't give a fuck which side wins. You're going to have protests after a lot of anger, a lot of angst, a lot of
Thank
aggression.
you, Council President. I'd like to ask everyone
You'll
who was
see.
honored today and all of my colleagues to come to the back for some photos. There's a reception in the rotunda until noon. We hope
Look
you'll
at
come
Spindler.
join
Look at
us.
him. Look at
Thank
him.
you.
Fucking love. He's crazy, man. All right, here we go. Civil War. I mean, again,
Thank
I'm not
you all
telling
very
you.
much for being
all
with
I'm
us.
telling you is the temperament's going to be quite hot, so
And,
get ready for it.
We can go next to the public comment portion of the meeting. And so I'd like to ask Mr. Clerk, Mr. City Attorney, if you could please read in the
Finally.
instructions.
Hour
And
plus
Mr.
in.
Harris
You happy
Dawson,
now,
if
fat
you
boy?
could please take
Huh?
the con
You
for a moment,
happy?
I'd
Not
appreciate
happy?
it. Thank you.
You want more?
Thank you, Mr. President. As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use
wanna
meeting
call
ID
in.
number
If you wanna voice your free opinion, there's the number.
160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Let me repeat. Call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your
Take a
turn to
look at this
speak,
thing. I
an
think it's
automated Zoom
roasted.
voice
Yep,
will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
Okay, and before I read the instructions, I'm just going to ask that I know that people are shuffling to the reception and for photos. If we could just keep the volume down so everybody can please hear the instructions.
Pick your feet
To
up.
people
Stop.
providing public comment,
Stop
when it is your
scraping your
turn to
feet.
speak, either at the podium or on the phone, please state which of the agenda items that you would like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment. We will tell you when your time is up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on
Well,
topic.
we'll see. I mean,
Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can.
That'll tell you something, though,
If you
Jim,
are
if
not
that
on
really
topic,
did happen.
Or
Bro,
if we
his
cannot
hair
tell
is
whether
nice
you are on
today.
topic,
Shout out to
you will get
Fantastic
one
Sam.
brief warning from me or the president. At that point,
God,
you
that
need to get
shit's looking
immediately
clean.
and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment during the regular meeting are items 7 through 10. So again,
Watermelon
the
head.
items that are open
Speaking
for
of that,
public comment during the regular
What's the deal with all the
are items
Palestinian
7
protests
through
with
10.
people dressed up or
Members of the
holding
public may also
watermelons?
speak
Does
for
anybody
up
know
to
the
1 minute for
significance of the
general public
watermelon?
comment.
Please, and
During
I'm not
general
joking.
public
Please put it in
comment,
the chat.
Members of the public may speak to any of the other items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. For members of the public calling in, when it is your turn to speak, an automated message from Zoom will prompt you to press star 6 to unmute yourself. If you do
Thank you,
not do
OCB.
so, council staff will prompt you once more. At that point, you need to immediately unmute yourself, or unfortunately, you will forfeit your speaking time, and we will have to
It
move on to the
signifies
next caller.
freedom. In what way?
Finally,
I mean, I'm
because of a
not
brief
doubting
time
you. I'm
delay
just-
and feedback
In what way, Jordan?
during the live meeting, two things are
Watermelon
important.
is
First,
while
freedom.
you're waiting for your turn to
Colors
speak,
of the flag,
please keep an ear to the phone
Snowman
so you know
says.
in real time when it is your turn to press *6 to unmute. Second,
It means pedophilia.
if you're listening to this
Stop
meeting
it.
on another
Come on,
device,
man, I'm asking for
please
real.
turn down the volume on that
You're
device
killing me right
immediately
now.
when it is your turn to speak. Between the time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast and feedback caused by your device, it will cause a great deal of
Talking about
confusion.
drinks.
if
Now
you
I want
continue to listen on
watermelon
your other
lemonade.
devices.
I've
Thank
never
you.
had it. A sign of solidarity and freedom, huh? A watermelon? Oh shit!
All right,
Who
we'll
ate
call
all
our
the
first set
pussies
of
there?
speakers.
Viewer discretion is
When you hear
advised.
your name, line
Viewer
up and
discretion
you can
is
speak in any
advised,
order.
everyone. Viewer discretion is advised. And guys, we'll get him in early. I don't see
First
Michael
caller,
Grabner
which
there,
would you like to
Andrew
speak to?
Grabner.
Sorry, we're
Which is,
doing in person first.
So
My
what
apologies.
I'm saying is, if he does come up, the under/over today is 23.
So, caller, we're going to do in-person public comment first. Please stay on the line. And then we will go to phone callers.
Over here taking a bath in my way.
And again, for members of the public who are here, once you hear your name called, please line up on your left-hand side, the left-hand side of the council chambers. You do not
We
need
gotta
to
get
speak
Herman
in
and
the order in
Spindler
which your
over
name was
here.
called. Just
And who
wait
ate all
until
the
your name is
pussy?
called.
Mike Greenspan.
Susie
There's
Baker,
Stacy Cigar Bollinger,
Donald
18-time
Harlan,
Grammy Award winner.
Jeffrey Delshad, Lydia Grant, Stormy Rabbi.
Stormy Rabbi? Is that like Stormy Daniels? Stop it.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Just for the record, I'm Susie Baker today, but I'm just wondering where all the council members are.
So
We
again,
don't have a
which
quorum
items
here.
would you like to speak to?
Okay, just for the record, there's no quorum, so
thank
I'd like
you,
to speak on
CW.
all items and general public comment. Marquise, where are your
So you
colleagues?
have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
right.
Please begin with the items.
So why don't we start with item, what is this, 10? Graciously brought to us from the indictee, Curran Price, and the currently presiding President Pro Tem MHD in the history. This is regarding cannabis from the Department of Cannabis Regulation and Resolution. Authorized the DCR to accept a grant in the amount of $3 million. So we're accepting a grant. This is a cannabis equity grant
Equity.
to execute the standard of agreement, government's office, blah, blah, blah. Basically what happened is weed became legalized and a bunch of wealthy, mostly white people were able to make lots of money off of weed, and mostly non-white people who have been incarcerated for infractions involving marijuana are still dealing with the consequences. Not to mention, if you want to work for the city, you have to take a UA, and if you test positive for marijuana, you cannot work for the city, but the city loves to rake in that tax money from it, so that's pretty interesting. Other agenda items involve REAP, that's the Rent Escrow Account Program. I think everyone knows how I feel
Thank
about
you,
the
Vionic.
Rent Escrow Account Program. I don't have a song about it today like I did last time, but I will say that typically if you violate terms of a contract, that contract is broken. The other party or parties in the contract are no longer obligated to uphold their contract. But that's not how it works, apparently. If you earn passive income from owning someone else's home, your contract is more like a suggestion, because if you violate your contract, the other party of the contract, aka your tenant, they don't get a break. They don't get to break their contract and not pay you. They just have to put their money in a super secret account over there that you can't touch until you've met all of the obligations that you were supposed to have met already, and then you get all that money back. Now, I used to serve in restaurants. Could you imagine if you ordered a burger and a milkshake and some fries from me, and I brought you a glass of water and then charged you for all of those things? And then you still had to pay me, and I could just give you the milkshake and the fries and the burger whenever I felt like it and got to keep all that money. That's sort of what REAP feels like. But for workers, we're never expected to really get any recompense for things. But if you own something, you're really a citizen. Your voice really matters. You're never at a loss because all of you will send the police to protect them and protect their property. And Imelda and Tim are having a chat, so I don't think they can hear me. It looks like Ulysses is on her phone. It looks like Monica's on her phone, and most of these seats are
General
empty.
public comment?
Let's go, girls.
Hey, next
Do,
tune.
do, 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 do. It was a big fight. It wasn't all right what the cops did at UCLA. A peaceful occupation was formed with dedication. Then hundreds of arrests were made. The funny thing about Nithya Raman is when she pretends that she gives a fuck. Oh, do you remember the month of December 2022? What did you do? Passed a resolution to define a word. Said if we compare what governments do there to the Nazis in Germany, you say it's anti-Semitism. Man, fuck Zionism. Woo! Shout out Smoke and Scan Brock Landers. I know we disagree on a lot of things, but I still love you all.
There's one, and Brock got one too. When I say name that tune, you got to do the artist and the song track.
Good morning.
Like the
Which
title
items
of
would
the
you
song.
like to speak to?
Just general.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment.
You guys got a
Please
sweet
begin.
Just for Men kit going.
Hello, present council members, Ulysses. Hello. Oh man, I was at UCLA Tuesday night. That was wild. Wow.
This is high.
You guys should come to the street sometime when things are going on like that.
He just smoked.
It was like a trip to the Middle East. I've never been to the Middle East, but there was like all these brawls and groups fighting and stuff. And I was like, wow, what a beautiful time to be alive. What a beautiful city. What beautiful people. Oh, goodness, goodness. I had a dream about you, Marquise. You were in my dream. And Paul, you were I was in a casino. I imagine this is a casino. It kind of has like that chatter of casinos. Commerce Casino. I used to go there. Anyway, shout out to UCLA. Love to see you guys there sometime. That's about it, I guess. Have a good day.
Bro fucking straight smoked. Homie smoked a fat hooter. Came in, didn't even remember what he wanted to talk about.
Good morning. If you
He-
could please
he
remind
got-
us
he
of
got
the
lit
name you
outside.
signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Yes, Lydia Grant and public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Please
Yes.
begin.
Thank you, council members that are here in the room. I wanted to bring to your attention that you don't see a whole packed house of neighborhood council leaders, even though the general manager is being chosen today. That's because none of us were ever notified. The neighborhood councils that were set up as part of the city charter to be able to weigh in on city issues were never notified that the general manager was going to be coming before the city council today. We also were not notified that it was going before the neighborhoods committee. This is an outrageous move. We are asking for a 30-day suspension or extension so that the neighborhood councils have a chance to weigh in. That is our job, mandated by the city charter, and we are not allowed to participate in our own general manager that we have waited a year for. This is not okay, and you guys can make the difference. We just asked for an extension so that we have a chance to weigh in. Thank you.
Be willing to bet you vote for them too. Be willing to put money on that. So you deserve what you get if you do. Mr. Herman, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, please, viewer discretion is advised. I don't condone anything this man says. Viewer discretion is... What does it say? Cunt? It says cunt something. Anybody read the back of it?
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and
He
1
may
minute for
swing it
general public
around.
comment. Please begin with the items.
First of all, you didn't ask me what name I signed up for, Rabbi. So, on consideration of all items and non-agenda public comment, I wish to speak on all fucking items and my non-agenda fucking public comment. So as you see on regarding cannabis, that measure is very good for our economy. And the reason why, it's because dumb council people, elected mayors in their local bullshit little cities that they criminalize corruption in, have figured a way to keep us white niggers from getting jobs selling dope. Just like the dope that just left right now, Mr. But no offense, you know, the program's to assist California to sustain itself because your goddamn stupid governor has run this state into the ground in a deficit. And then your budget, same bullshit. Maybe this money can help the state of California maybe pay for some of our sewers that you guys haven't repaired in how many years and so forth. And maybe this resolution of $3 million, instead of helping out the cannabis social equity, maybe it could help fucking replace our trash instead of having us dump it on the fucking street.
So, Speaker,
idiot.
you've exhausted your 1 minute on item 10. Please
Yeah.
move on to the other items.
Yeah, but I get 3 minutes and non-agenda public comments.
Yes,
I got
so you
two
can use
fucking
your
more
other 2 minutes
asshole.
on item
I
7,
can see
8,
the
or
clock.
9.
I can see the clock. Don't fucking interrupt me and remind me. I'm not stupid. You're stupid.
You need to get
You're
back on.
reminding me.
You need to get back on topic, Mr. Herman.
I'm getting back to it, bro. All right. So, bro, item 8, CD11, housing department, known as no shit housing, let alone homeless shelters, has done no good in the interest of the public. And the reason behind that was because criminal elements of our local government, like Mr. Okosker there, you know, Buckethead, doesn't understand that REAP is spelled rape. And when you rape us of our obligation to provide not just a console file, but to provide actual kitty hawk, meow, meow, kitty walk, meow, avenue for a rent escrow account, again, it does not make no motherfucking sense to me. I mean, I'm just a poor dumb nigger trying to survive off of what I understand when I read the dumb shit off of 24005 S for suck dick 53 CD11. So am I on topic, Circle K? Now I am. Now let me go to my non-general public comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Yeah, the government has ruled that Brandenburg versus Ohio has never been hate speech. Rather, it just simply says, send the Jews back to Israel, bury the niggers, we intend to do our part, save America from Stormy Daniels, who's fucking up the 45th president's life with their fucking lies, just like you lie. Just like you say, oh, we don't have problems here in Los Angeles. Fucking people are being attacked at the bus. Fucking niggers are being attacked at the train. Motherfuckers are being attacked all over Los Angeles. And you want to hold the Olympics? You got a goddamn shame of responsibilities and liabilities to attend to the people from Europe who are coming here to see that their lives are not going to be endangered by a dumb black motherfucker like me, who you say have mental health, but no, all of you have mental health problems, and that's the reason why I wear this specific sign, pay attention.
Speaker, your time
Does
has
it say
expired.
cunt ramen noodle? I'm pretty sure it says cunt
Do we have
ramen
more
noodle.
names to read off for additional speakers? or-
No more speakers on queue.
Oh, here we go. Who ate all the pussy? Viewer discretion
Good
is
morning.
advised.
Which items would you like to speak to?
All items.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items.
Okay. And public comment.
And you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Okay. Mike Greenspan, the Jew who won't go back to Florida. Bob always talks about anti-Semitism. That's a Jew having to appease a false Catholic doctrine in a public school. Now, McOsker actually did something right. Item 3. Yes.
So, Speaker, item 3 is not open for public comment.
It's on the thing.
So, the items that are open for public comment are items 7 through 10. So,
Okay.
you're welcome to use your time for those items. You can speak to anything in the city's subject
All
matter
right,
jurisdiction
all right.
or
Okay,
agenda.
Circle K, I got it. Okay. Now that you hogged up my time, oink, oink.
Hold on. Can you pause his time really quick? I'm sorry, Speaker. Mr. Spindler, please do not disrupt the other speaker's public comment. Yes, you are. I can't hear what Mr. Greenspan is saying because you're having a loud conversation with the officers. You're more than welcome to talk to the sergeants, but if you'd like to do so, please do so in the back or keep your voice down.
They caught
This is
him
your
on the
first
Circle
and only
K
warning. Thank
coffee
you.
cup
Sorry,
one day,
please
so
continue.
they kept calling him Circle K.
Now we have the rent escrow account program,
They're crazy.
and if you're a bad landlord, they could by law put you in prison for being a slumlord, but you know and I know that doesn't happen. In fact, a book once talking about that said, pictured L.A. and Oakland as good examples where it does not happen. Slumlords just get away with anything. Now, even though that it does happen, should happen, slap on the wrist, then they'll go back to doing the very same thing the minute you're not looking. Now let's talk about the pot shops. I got to talk about them because we have pot shops everywhere. And you know what? There's somebody involved here with the city attorney's office, a colleague of Faggoty Fobble and Circle K, named Andre Quintero. And he's political boss of El Monte, former mayor, this fat fuck wetback, and he's into the pot shops in the San Gabriel Valley, which means he's probably
Speaker,
into
I
the
can't
pot
tell
shops
which
here.
item you're speaking to, so this is your only warning.
Number
Please
10,
stick
pot
to the
shops.
items.
I mean, they come here and advertise right here in downtown L.A. They're pot shops. Well, you know, if they've got one pot shop, they got another and another. They just maybe go under different names, but it's the same owner. Maybe they have a shell of an owner, but they don't have the actual owner. It's
Thank you,
kind of the
Rob
way
Adcock.
the Vegas thing goes. The mafia owns the club, but we put some schmo out there as a front as the owner. Well, that's how they operate the pot shops, and one of your own city attorneys has in on the pot shop business, Andre Quintero, and I wanted to say it on the record so everybody knows about that fat fuck wetback political boss from El Monte that we hire. Now, the other thing, we have Jewish Heritage Month, and I really would like to talk about it. It was a good presentation. Always remember, Jesus wouldn't get Christmas dinner at Timuquana Country Club. He's Jewish, fucking Baptist in the Klan.
General public comment.
Yes. Oh, that was something, that dog and pony show over there at that Catholic school on that 80-degree day where the police commission had their thing. Monica was there, and it was she was dressed in black from head to foot to cover up how fat and ugly she is. And guess what? The next day, I showed up at the Budget and Finance Committee, chaired by Kike Bob Blumenfield, and guess what? She was wearing the same thing. You see, she skipped out on the meeting before the public spoke. After she blew her hot air, she skipped out with her deputy, and the next day, she must not have gone home. She took off in a city vehicle, and where did she go? Well, whatever hotel room she went to spend the night with somebody other than her husband, she should have brought a change of clothes, because Wayne and I saw her in the same thing the next day in front of the committee meeting. Just thought everyone would like to know.
Yeah, they're all cuckoo, man. I mean, how many people want to waste their day to come
This
out
is our
here
last speaker in the chambers.
just do
After this, we'll
for
go to telephones.
3 minutes and then go home. 4 minutes.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for
Both-
the items
both
and
sides
1 minute
do
for
that.
general public comment.
Look at that
Please
shit.
begin with the items.
Item number, oh, did you skip one, you fucking pricks? Okay. Item number fucking 3, we're down there. CD 15, the Buckethead. The cost of the Rancho LPG facility. Fuck the LPG
So,
facility.
Speaker, the item number 3 is not open for public
But it
comment.
says it
The
there.
only items open for public comment, as has been repeated multiple times, are items 7 through 10. So
right.
please speak to the items, or you can move to general public comment, where you can
okay.
speak to item 3.
All right, CD 15, the fucking Buckethead again. South Bella Porte? They got to give these fancy Italian names. I'll translate it. Shithole South. That's what that fucking place is. Fuck that place. Reap? You guys have the nerve to hold a landlord up in that shithole? Like, I mean, Unisys wouldn't send a dog over there for daycare. No, on number 7. And then we got The pussy on CD11 at Kitty Hawk. On the rent escrow for the Kitty Hawk. And you know, from the reap. Yes, finally. Finally, the clutches of the ill-fated Tracy Park, Tracy Irene Beach. I think she was known one time. I keep telling Kevin to investigate. He looks at me like a mule. And I'm like, why? What the fuck is this woman doing with the Kitty Hawk? Well, I'll tell you, like any other cat, any other pussy, it's just gonna goddamn cause you disgrace and fucking harm. That's what all pussies do to you. No on the Kitty Hawk. Fuck the Kitty Hawk. The number 9, we got Horseface over there. The great one, KFC. Katie fucking cunt on South Bedford Street. That's a pretty nice area. Why are they on the reap? Let me see. What's going on here? Dear Wayne, they're holding me hostage. Okay, I get it. All right, so yes, we support number 9. Remember, everybody, you got to do 3 things. You got to pay off the building inspector. You got to donate to the CD5 office account. You got to pay off the fucking council members. Repeat after me. I have to pay off the council member. Thank you. Jesus Christ. You know, then I only have 10 items, you know. Now we get $3 million. Holy shit. I'll tell you right now. I'd blow Stormy Daniels for that amount, I'll tell you. Now I'll get to
General
my
public comment.
God, Monica, with the fucking flower. You've been wearing that ugly fucking flower for 2 days. It's bigger than your ass.
You got to talk about issues, Mr. Spindler. This is not in the jurisdiction. This is not in the jurisdiction of this council.
This is your only warning.
Fashion
Speak
police.
to things within the jurisdiction of this body, or you will forfeit.
I
the
believe
rest of
this is
the
his.
presentation.
I believe this is his second warning, actually.
The presentation. We are at a business
Fashion
meeting,
cop.
not a dance club. You have to have a certain look. People are laughing.
He remains off topic.
I'm doing you a favor.
We'll ask that he be excused from the chambers.
You have to listen to what I'm saying. They're laughing.
So, Mr.
They're-
Spindler,
it's taking
per the chair,
away
you
from the
forfeited your
budget.
speaking time.
It's taking
Please
away
vacate the
from
podium
the
so
pro-
we can move on to the phone callers.
All right, now we'll go to testimony from the telephones. If we can call in our first caller.
And caller, before you begin, Mr. Spindler, you have been warned already, so please sit down quietly so we can continue with the public comment on the phones.
First caller, which item would you
spicy.
like to speak to?
Yes, all items. This is Richard Serrano. All items and public comments.
Shout out to Richard
Okay, so you
Serrano.
have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Number 7. Again, I don't understand how Price or Park Aquarian are voting on any REIT since it has to do with landlords. Kind of a conflict of interest there, but the attorney represents them, not the city of LA. Number 10. During the budget committee, Bloomingfield and Monica Rodriguez spoke highly about this cannabis stuff going all over the place. I get it, the $40 million is producing in taxes for the city of LA. And here we are getting $3 million. Is that at the cost of somebody's lives? All the guns that were taken from those locations? Doesn't sound like a fair trade-off when it's your kid or somebody that you love dying in those places or those locations. Nobody's monitoring what hours they're going to be open for, or is it just a standard, let them do what they want because they're bringing $40 million? You might as well cut out the middleman and bring in the opioids and make money on that. How many people are not incarcerated for cannabis in the state of California, or were?
Thank you, Heather.
Not a fair trade-off when you change money now that you're making it legal. Oh, well, let's take that money and run. It's not fair to the community. Keep adding these things. Emilio Padilla is adding so many to Arleta District 6. Well, not Arleta, but all of District 6. It's like I said, I thought it was a frequent user program. But I'm not sure. That's who got her elected. That's
Caller,
who she's
you've
going to pan
exhausted
out
your
to.
1 minute on item 10. Please move on to
Thank you,
another
Heather.
item.
Let's go to general public comment then.
Okay, so you have 1
Heather
minute
Horn.
for general public comment.
Again, the trade-off isn't fair.
No sick.
Getting cannabis shops all over the community because you're making that kind of money, it's unavailable.
Smoke.
You're selling your souls to the devil, man. It's not fair to the communities that you represent. You know, first, the Tigers are artists. Now cannabis people are contributing to the economy. Come on, Emilda. It's better than that. We got to do more for these kids and give them a future of being able to access this stuff freely and easily. We got to do something better for the future. You're about to go into a 5-year, not a 3-year recession, and that takes you right into the Olympics. So I don't know who made your numbers, but follow history and you're going to see it's a 5-year plan. It's like college. Remember, it used to be 3 years. Now it's 5. You're going to go through the same financial crisis you got going. 5 years. Smoke and Scan. Thank you guys for the support.
There's 2. Shout out to Richard Serrano.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to? Caller ending in 1991, please press *6 to unmute.
I like Richard Serrano.
Good morning, Council, and the mainly good
Robit.
morning,
Good morning.
public.
And which items would you like to speak to?
Items, actually all items, because I've had to change with
so
all the changes that have been going on.
3
Okay,
minutes.
so anyway.
You have 3 minutes for the items, and
all
that's
right.
items 7 through 10, and 1 minute for general public comment.
Okay, item 7 through 10. In my opinion, I demand a no vote for item 7. That's the communication from the Los Angeles Housing Department. If indicted criminal Kern Price and unelected Heather Hutt and criminally insane Sleazy Marquise Dawson are allowed to vote because they do not represent the public. In my opinion, I demand a no vote on item number 9, communication from the Los Angeles Housing Department. LHD and resolution relative to 929 South Bedford. If indicted criminal Kern Price, criminally insane Sleazy Marquise Dawson, and unelected Heather Hutt are allowed to vote because they, again, do not represent the public, in my opinion. In my opinion, I also demand a no vote for item number 10. That's consideration of motion communication from the Department of Cannabis Regulation. If indicted Kern Price, unelected Heather Hutt, criminally insane Sleazy Marquise Dawson are allowed to vote because they do not represent the general public. Okay, I guess I'm going to go to public.
Okay.
Oh yeah, public comment.
So you have 1 minute for general
public
comment.
All right. Even subhuman lowlife Nuri Martinez said, if you are indicted, you will be suspended from this council. And petty pink-faced Armenian dictator Paul Krikorian is even lower than Martinez. Excuse me. Okay? So, basically, that's just to say that these items should not be recognized as far as something for the people.
Smoke.
That's it.
Next caller.
Oh, Robit Dog. I haven't heard her husband call in a
Caller,
while.
which items
She
would you like
sounds
to speak
sick
to?
too. See, the cold's going around. It's going around, man.
Morning, Groot.
Oh,
Morning.
Rob
Which items
Kwan.
would you like to speak to?
Shout out to Rob Kwan.
Rob Kwan, I'd just like to speak on general public comment.
Okay,
And,
so you have 1 minute for general public comment.
I'm amazed to hear Kevin De Leon droning on about the multicultural tapestry of the city, anti-Semitism, not forgetting history. I want to talk about Kevin and ancient history from 2 years ago when he was caught on tape being racist as fuck, insulting every demographic in the city, which included
Jews.
Kieran Nuri as she talked about the Judeos, talking about the Jews, scheming, engaging in deep anti-Semitism, and you all sit there and clap on Kevin. We have the council president talking about the real members of the public at the top of the meeting, as if disruption invalidates your humanity. That's what Paul thinks of the hundreds of Angelinos who responded to the Fed tape by pounding on your doors. Paul hates those people, but is happy to cheer on Kevin's gaslighting now that he's welcome back on the council. That kind of disdain that Paul has for normal people is why we sent those postcards to political donors.
Speaker, your
that
time has
live near
expired.
Paul's
Next
Court.
caller.
Damn. They gave
Caller,
no
which
time.
items would you like to speak to?
Shouldn't he have gotten 3 minutes? There's no way. He barely got a minute. Why did the callers get jacked?
Item 10 and public comment, please.
Okay, and can you just lower your voice just a
That's
little bit? You have 1
Candido.
minute for item
That's
number 10.
the great
and 1 minute
panderer,
for general
everybody.
Public comment. We can hear you just
Used
fine.
to be
Thank
50
you,
guns.
Thank you, sir. I
Formerly.
just want to make sure certain people know who this is. Candido Mares, M-A-R-E-Z, in case you want to look it up. Mares, M-A-R-E-Z. In regards to item 10, you know, the cannabis issue, when I look on the streets and all the homeless people and the issues we have today, for me, that's where it started. I walked away from that business back in the late 70s, 80s, because I knew what it was going to do to this country and what it was going to do to the great city of Los Angeles. Money isn't everything. Honor is everything. Dignity is everything. So I just hope that we can tax these cannabis locations and put aside the money for the future, because if you think it's bad now, you wait 10, 15 years from now, and you watch how it's going to be triple of what we have today. Public comment.
They already do
I
that.
want to thank Stacy and all the public commenters who come to City Council to fight their issues. I may not agree with you, but I believe that you're there for the
Caller,
right purpose.
general public
the
comment
right
is your
reason.
opportunity
Even
to address this
Andrew
body,
G-
that is the City Council, not to address the members of the public. So.
I'm addressing the City Council, sir, because this
Yes,
is a
the-
City Council issue, sir. May I continue, sir?
You can continue to the extent that you're addressing this body and not members of the public.
I am addressing the thing, but public comment is part of the City Council, and what I'm trying to say is that we have to be respectful of each other, and I would hope that people would be more respectful of the council people, even if they don't agree with them, and stop making themselves victims like a certain person who's now the victim after disgracing women, children, anybody that can walk, but now who is a victim because of his perversion. Thank you, sir, for allowing me to address the City Council. Am I okay with that, sir?
Is he talking
Your
about
time has
Brock?
expired. Next caller.
Was he talking about Brock right there?
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Yes, my name is Jason, and I'm a smoking scan viewer.
Good morning. And
Is
which
that four?
item would you like to speak to?
3.
What are the items available for discussion?
So the items that are open for public comment are 7 through 10.
7 through 10. Let me get. How about let me get all available items in general public comment. Then.
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public
Brock,
comment.
are you
Please
here?
begin with the items.
Thank you, brother. All right, so the other day I was down on Figure Road, and I picked up this chick, and we run to the 7-Eleven down there. You know the one down there, and we're behind there, and I'm
So, Speaker, this is not on the agenda, so this is your only warning. Please stick to the agenda items. That's items 7 through 10, or I'm going to move you to general public comment.
I'm sorry, sir. What I was trying to talk about was I was wondering if we can maybe get on Figaro, we can get like some of those some of those crypto ATMs, because I was a
Okay,
little
so
short.
I'm going to move you to general public comment. You have 1 minute.
Oh, cool. Thank you there, brother. Anyway, as I was saying, I picked up this chick the other day. We went to the 7-Eleven. I was giving her the business from behind there, kind of, fuck up her digestive tract. And I was a little short, and I went into the 7-Eleven to get a little cash out the ATM, and it wasn't working. I was thinking if we have like some of those crypto, ATMs, I could, hit her with a little Bitcoin, and I can go back to, packing fudge, like one of those Cuba LC packing
So,
cookies. in that
Speaker,
treat.
this does
Maybe
not
I
sound
can do
like
that.
it's within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. So you can speak to matters that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city, or we're going to move
Y'all
on to
don't
the next
take
caller.
care of the ATMs and like the crypto machines around there? Sir?
Go ahead.
Is that not a thing? Cool. All right. Well, I want to say shout out to the folk dance community. We having a good show today. Damien, you're doing your thing there, and if y'all get a chance, help me out here, because I'm trying to, pick up some hoes down there on Figueroa and do the thing there, but I'm having
Caller, your time
problems
has
with the money.
expired. Next caller.
Caller,
Shut up,
which item would you
Jason.
like to speak to?
Oh, sticking him in their booty hole.
Caller ending in
He needs more
2212,
Bitcoin
please press star 6 on
ATMs.
mute.
Give them ladies some Bitcoin.
Caller ending
I
in
see
the
him
last
getting
four
banked
digits,
out.
2212. This is your last opportunity to speak. Please press star 6 to unmute. Okay, we're going to have to move on to the next caller.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Where's Brock at? Where's Shelly?
City Council.
Good morning. Which items
City
would you like
Council?
to speak to? Yes, we can hear you.
That
I'd
lobster?
like to speak of general public in the key of D.
Okay, so
because
you have
D
1 minute.
equals Damon. I'm the city attorney. I got a big old head. My haircut looks like I just rolled out of bed. Lobster.
Shout out
Caller
to,
disconnected.
shout out to
Okay,
Lobster.
next caller.
Technically, that's
Caller,
number
which item
5.
would you like to speak to?
Didn't mention smoking scan.
Hi,
but...
this is Andrew Rudick. Good morning. General public comment, please.
Uh-oh,
So
is
you
this
have
the
1
guy
minute
with
for
the
general
star
public
on the Trump star?
Thank you. I'd like to draw council's attention to this Friday's Walk of Fame agenda item number 6, which is somehow still under consideration after this council essentially admitted in a proposed motion of Council File 24-0489 that the city has been breaking the law when it comes to Walk of Fame star installations. It's been breaking the law in regards to Section 62.105 of the LA Charter and Section 28.04D of the Municipal Code at least, which requires the approval of the Board of Public Works before any A permit can be issued. The Board of Public Works and City Council never approved of Donald Trump's name on the Walk of Fame before it was installed in 2007, and our city allowing this illegal honor of a white supremacist fascist on our sidewalk is an affront to decency, public duty, and intellectual honesty, and it's about time the City Council does something about it. Thank you.
Emotional damage.
Caller disconnected.
Next caller.
Bro's been
Caller,
coming here
which
for
item would
2
you like to speak
years
to?
trying to get that star removed. That's no
Okay,
life.
yes, I would like to give public comment, please.
No life.
Good morning. So you have 1 minute for general public
Good
comment.
morning. Thank you. Okay, I'm calling you upon you today to address a pressing issue that's come to my attention after listening to the budget meeting and many other meetings about Los Angeles Animal Services. I'm deeply troubled by what I hear. The animals in our city are at risk or are being simply killed to make space. This is unacceptable. It is time for the city to be transparent, provide the taxpayers with the truth about what is happening within this department. Without a true leader at the helm, the department is in shambles and in desperate need of investigation and reform. We cannot turn a blind eye to the suffering and the loss of what is occurring to protect our own community. It is our duty to protect and advocate for those who cannot speak for themselves. I urge you to have a thorough investigation of the Department of Los Angeles Animal Services. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to the next caller, Mr. Greenspan, you're displaying a sign that is not compliant with the rules of the City Council.
Wonder what it says.
Please put it down.
Wonder what it says.
Put it down or you're in violation of the rules of this council, and you'll be removed. All right, let's go to the next caller.
It's like
please.
romper room.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Obsession, that's right.
Caller ending in 1871, please press star 6
Some
to
kooky
unmute.
motherfuckers.
There's some weird guys out there.
Caller
women,
ending
too.
In the last four digits, 1871.
Don't trip.
This is your last opportunity to speak. Please press star 6 to unmute. Okay, so we're going to have to move on to the next caller. Next caller?
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
And general comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for
Mhm.
general public comment.
We do not need more non-medical cannabis shops in CD8 or CD9. The people do not need to be sedated. They are awake and want a quality job, not 3 low-paying ones. And they want lower taxes. Our youth should not have to sell their bodies for any current price on the streets of Figueroa, the largest red light district in the nation, only to get harassed in Dawson, the Ferengi lapdog of the failing stinking bass. What a disgrace for the council members of those districts. Only pimps will allow the red light district on Figueroa to continue. Let's not let the city go up in smoke and mirror the cesspool that is CD8 and CD9. Mayor Bass is a disgrace. Public comment. The state of the city is terrible and getting worse. The Inside Safe program is a waste of taxpayer money. According to the Council File 22-1545-S17, the majority of ghetto Inside Safe programs are in areas that have the least amount of homeless. This is poor administration of public funds.
Speaker, your time has
CD8
expired.
and
Next
CD9
caller.
And
All right.
that's it.
That will close public comment on all agenda items and close
No
general
Brock
public
today?
comment.
No Shelley?
Mr. Clerk, what's next before us?
Mr. President, the council may now vote
did
on
get
items
5
7
shout
through
outs.
9.
Those items are
Across
now
the
before
board.
us. I see no members wishing to be
Especially
heard.
that-
Let's open the roll.
It's nice to get the.
Close the roll
Look at
and
that.
tabulate the votes.
15 eyes.
Thank you. That'll take us next to item number 10. And we have that item was submitted by motion by Mr. Price, seconded by Mr. McOsker to adopt the Department of Cannabis Regulation report. The item is now before us. Do any members wish to be heard? On item number 10, do any members wish to be heard? Seeing none, let's open the roll. Oh, Councilmember Hutt, did you? Okay. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and
I think he's
tabulate
right
the
here.
votes.
How did this camera go off?
15 eyes.
Thank you. That'll take us next to item number 3, which was called special by Councilmember McOsker. Mr. McOsker.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I will be very brief. Item number 3 has to do with the Rancho LPG tanks, very specific to the harbor area, but as a reminder, these are 2 tanks capable of holding 25 million gallons of butane. We've had a number of motions over the years, literally over the years, to look at safety measures and try to cause this use to conform more closely to the surrounding uses of recreational, educational, residential. I have reached a point, and I appreciate the support from this council, to look at an amortization study for this very use. And I realize the significance of that. We will be talking about it in just a couple of hours at budget, about the costs of such a study and the costs of managing a study all the way to its completion. But I will ask for an aye vote as we take this next step for something that has been of urgent need and concern in one part of my community for the last 30 years.
All right. Thank you very much. I see no other members wishing to be heard. So on item 3, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
15 eyes.
Councilmember Hutt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move to reconsider item 29 from yesterday's City Council meeting, Council File 21-1328, and continue the item until Friday, May 17th.
Mr. President, for the record, 2 votes are required. One is to reconsider the vote, and one is to continue the matter.
Very good. So first on the motion to reconsider, let's open the roll,
Second that emotion.
close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
Second that motion.
Fourteen eyes.
And continuance,
so-
Councilmember?
So the continuance is now before us, and we can, without objection, go ahead and grant that continuance. Until what date, Councilmember Hutt?
May 17th, Friday,
May 17th. Okay, without objection, that'll be the order.
I don't know, Calamity. I think at least 8. I know we've gotten at least 8 sometimes, so it'd be somewhere
All right,
around 8 or
with that,
9, I
we
would
will,
assume.
Recess
Maybe
our
10.
regular meeting and go into the special meeting. So let's go ahead and call the roll for the special meeting, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Blumenfeld, De Leon, Harris Dawson, Hernandez.
Should allow them
Webb,
to speak on
Krikorian,
the special
Lee,
item.
McOsker, Padilla, Park,
They won't.
Price, Rahman,
He
Rodriguez,
doesn't
Soto
care about
Martinez,
politics,
Yaroslavsky.
no.
15
He cares
members
just
present
about
and
food.
quorum, Mr. President.
That's his main hobby, food. Stinks could be a competitive eater. Like, I'm gonna put him in the Nathan hot dog contest on 4th of July. He's gonna
Okay,
beat Joey Chestnut
before
and
we begin public
Kobayashi and
comment,
all the
Mr.
rest
Spindler,
of them.
Please put that sign down. It's not compliant with our rules.
I did,
Please put it
CW.
down.
Someone put it in, Bionic put it in the other
I
room.
don't
so
care
read
if you're
it.
wearing it or if you're sitting on it or whatever. You cannot display it. Put it down. All right. Again, we will, in the special meeting, we will now take public comment on items 33 and 34.
Ooh.
So if you wish to offer comment on those
Ooh.
items, we won't be taking general public comment again, but if you wish to speak to items 33 and or item 34,
we
you
get
can come
Herman
on
and
up to the
Spindler
side
again?
of the
Stacy still there?
council chambers and the
You know how they do it, get
sergeants
spicy
will direct
between
you
the
up to
lines. Talk about the item, but they're still. Oh yes, viewer discretion is advised. You're about to hear Mr. Herman all over again. Here we go. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, go ahead and bring up our first caller, please. I mean, our first speaker.
Come on, stop playing. All right, Stinks, leave me alone right now. What are you doing? You want to laugh?
Good afternoon.
Booey.
So you have 2 minutes for the items.
Booey. I want to speak on all items, 33 and 34, Mr. Circle K. So, the appointment of Ms. Diaz to the Los Angeles Planning Commission, known as LACPC, or Cunt Pussy Cunts, recommendation is that we and the mayor appoint Ms. Diaz on a confirmed appointee. But we don't know whether or not she's been involved in some of that circular shit on the computer known as Stormy Daniels, you know, that sexy stuff you older men like looking at called porno.
Please stick to the agenda item.
Well, I'm verifying whether or not she's been on a site as porno, just like someone accused me of being on Proton.me, dumbass. So, Juan Aquino, I see he got an F equals 6. What a dumb fucker. Then we go to 34. Neighborhoods, community enrichment. Well, really, the social environment of our community is destroyed by your homeless encampments. People sleeping on the sidewalk and streets, nowhere friendly for pedestrians to cross or walk safely. That's the way the Olympics are going to look. But I give you a solution. Take the motherfuckers and dump them other cities. That's how you solve the homeless problem. You've been doing it for more than 15 years, right, Circle K? You and your criminal enterprise like DWP. But going back to the Carmen Chang, is it Carmen Chang or is it Connie Chong? Ching Chong Chang? I don't know. But I don't like wonton soup anymore ever since I found a roach in mine.
You're not speaking to the agenda
Well,
item. Speak to the agenda item or sit
I'm
down.
talking about the manager for the neighborhood empowerment, how I plan to throw a neighborhood party on her behalf,
Okay,
but I don't want
you're
roach
done.
shit in
Okay,
it.
have a seat. Have a seat. Next speaker, please.
It's crazy how cold this water is from last night that I filled it up at 8 o'clock last night before the show.
Good afternoon.
It's
You have 2
fucking
minutes for the
cold,
item.
ice cold still now.
Okay,
There's still ice
so
in there.
let's see here. What, we have a worthless pile of shit for the LACPC, Los Angeles Cunt Property Commission. And of course, absolutely unfucking qualified, unconflicted bullshit. But it'll pass. Would you ever see Unisys object to one of these things? Would you ever see the Flower Girl object? How about Noodle Ramen on the basis that there's not enough affordable housing on any of these projects? No. Now John Lee would. John Lee would absolutely oppose this nomination unless there was 15 to 20% affordable housing on these projects. but he can't because he has federal entanglements and ethics entanglements. So, but I will count him as a voice of the people to vote no on this shit. Let's give him a hand. Now, we get to the Department of Community Disenrichment and fucking cunts for neighborhood empowerment. And what do we got here? Carmen Chang, who testified before Eunices Hernandez that she worked 10 whole years in the general counsel's office.
Carrying up my paper.
That happens to conflict with her resume, doesn't it? And she says she has a national security clearance, parentheses expired with no dates on it. What does this mean? What is this grifter doing getting a $300,000 a year fucking job? I mean, look, I should get the job. Number one, I'm retarded. Number two, I have no friends. Number three, I'm not an asshole. And number four, I'll actually show up to work. Fuck the city council of Los Angeles.
Next speaker.
Smoke.
Oh, here he comes again. You smoked another fat hooter out
Which
back.
items would you like to speak
Now he's
to?
ready again.
33 and 34.
So you have 2 minutes for the item.
All right. Hello, council. How are you doing? I don't know that much about who these people are, so I thought that could be something that this body could look into, providing more information to the public about transparency and whatnot. There was back when I went to college, there was an idea I remember learning about the American legal system called due process, but also substantive due process, meaning that this has the appearance perhaps of being a bit of a rubber stamp or a formality, whereas the reason that I'm personally kind of spending my time to come here is that I would like to actually be involved, or I'd like to see people be involved in the appointment, confirmation, whatever, rubber stamping. So it would be nice to have more information about who these people are. That way the comments that we're making, or Herman or Spindler are making, are not just performance, but actually related to democracy and voting and those type of things. Democracy. The mayor is making the appointments, but if you can't get to the mayor, or the mayor's not here, the person's not here, maybe one of the two people should be here. That way, if someone like me comes down and wants to take our time, they could talk with me and say, hey, I'm getting on the LAPC. This is what we do. This is how you can be involved. This is how you can make your city more bright and shiny and productive. The Municipal Corporation of Los Angeles. Let's run the corporation like a tight ship. You've got the con. All right.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Homie Stone, bro.
Good afternoon.
Okay, what'd you
If you
say?
could
He's
please
smoking
remind
that
us of the
good,
name
good.
you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Good morning, council members. My name is Rashad Rucker-Trapp, and I'm
Good.
speaking on item 34.
Right, Daly?
Okay, so you have 1 minute, and can you just pull the mic a little? Thank you.
Bro's ripped right now. Glassy
Good
eye.
afternoon, council members. I'm here speaking on item 34 on the appointment of GM for neighborhood empowerment. Very excited that the mayor has appointed or have tapped the shoulders of Carmen Chang. She stands ready, able, and willing to do the job. I've had the pleasure of serving with her on the Commission for Community Family Services,
walked in. Who
working
was
on
that?
many projects servicing the city of Los Angeles, as well as a host of other community projects throughout time. I'm very excited for this appointment. I know she will do well servicing not only the
He's
department,
cleaning
but the
himself.
communities that it represents. Thank you.
He cleaned.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
He's cleaning. He's cleaning his back. Not his booty hole.
Good afternoon. You have 2 minutes.
Viewer
for the
discretion
items.
is
Please begin.
advised.
Mike Greenspan, I'm wish to speak on all of them. And remember, folks, during Jewish Heritage Month, this Jew won't go back to Florida. you Antichrist Catholics.
33
Now, to the
and
victor
34.
goes the spoils. As I've always said, if the other guy had been elected and not Karen Bass, RIC KKK Caruso, he would put his people in. But Karen Bass gets to put hers. Now, I don't know why Juan Aquino resigned. I don't know if it's under a cloud or personal or family things.
Why did
and
Mike go down?
a lack of time to devote to the job. But if it was under questionable circumstances, we have a right to know also. As the late John Walsh always talked about, he has no problem with appointments as long as they aren't like one appointee, I don't know which mayor, whether it was Hahn or Tony Viller or Bradley, who had an appointee had kiddie porn. That's not acceptable. So we definitely need to vet these appointees, whoever they are, wherever they come from. I mean, really vet them. Otherwise, we could have a repeat and somebody else with kiddie porn. How disgusting. And that we would appoint people to these things that have these terrible things about them. Now, if Caruso had been elected, we'd get Englander. And Englander's this part-time pig that never had seen a bribe he didn't like. Money bribes, hotel room bribes, liquor bill bribes, pussy bribes. So I'm very grateful that RIC KKK Caruso, the choice of those racist white Republican pigs, is not mayor making fuck-up appointments. After all, Bass can do her own fuck-up appointments, and she does a great job of fuck-up appointments. Just look at Eduardo. All he does is jerk his dick.
Next speaker, please.
All he does is jerk his dick.
Good afternoon. Which item would you like to speak to?
I would like to speak to item 34.
So you have 1 minute for item 34. Please begin.
Yes, my name is Lydia Grant. For identification purposes, I'm the president of the Sunland Tahunga Neighborhood Council and a 24-year Neighborhood Council veteran, also a former Bonk commissioner. In all that time, I would never have believed that that a general manager would be appointed to the department when not only did the department not notify us so the neighborhood councils could weigh in, but we weren't notified that it was going before neighborhoods nor today's meeting. We are asking for a 30-day extension so that the neighborhood councils have a right to weigh in. The neighborhood councils were set up by the city charter to be able to weigh in, and we couldn't even come today and ask for additional time because we haven't been able to agendize anything to be able to speak up. It's wrong, and we're, again, asking for an extension. Give us the opportunity to weigh in. We would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
It's Miran K, and I'm talking about agenda number 34.
Miran?
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Please begin.
Thank you for this council for postponing this agenda item. As we are, as a neighborhood council advocates, we are requesting for more time extension up to 30 days so that the mayor will have the opportunity to communicate and engage with the neighborhood councils and be more transparent. Thank you.
Thank you. Any
Spindler?
other speakers? Okay.
That's it.
We will
Spindler
go
already
to the
spoke.
phones.
Oh,
for
here we go.
comment
Is
limited
Jason gonna
items
call in?
33 and 34. Please.
Oops, shit.
First caller.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Item 34, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for item 34. Please begin.
Hopefully Brock
Thank-
gets in there.
Thank you, City Council members.
Shell,
For item
maybe?
34, I believe that the Department of Neighborhood Department and the mayor should have given us proper advance notification to advise and notify neighborhood councils of the new mayoral appointees to the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. We need to have at least 30 days to meet the new appointee and to give us the time to consider the new appointee. And I also want to bring up the issue of that the department failed to notify neighborhood councils of the deactivation, disabling of the empowerla.org emails.
Many of us were not notified in advance. So I hope that if Ms. Chang does get appointed, that she will work with neighborhood councils for transparency, to collaborate and collectively. And I hope that the new general manager, if she gets confirmed, that she will listen to our
Caller, your time has
concerns.
expired. Next caller.
Caller, which item would
was
you like
quick.
to speak to?
Yes, thank you. Candido Maris, M-A-R-E-Z.
Good afternoon.
Item 34.
Item 34? Okay, you have 1 minute for item 34. Please begin.
Thank you, sir. As someone who's been involved with the neighborhood council since the conception, I was served on council for 14 years and have only missed 1.5 meeting in the last 10 years. The horse is out of the barn. I think that the new head of the neighborhood empowerment program should meet with all the presidents and vice presidents and anybody else in the neighborhood council who would love to meet with her and just basically talk about what the issues are that are plaguing the neighborhood councils. It kills me that council people are not utilizing the neighborhood council people. What's wrong with you people? There are so many good people in this city who want to help. All you have to do
You mean
is not be
utilize?
afraid of utilizing these people. So I'm asking that the city council members utilize the people in the neighborhood councils. Thank you.
That's what utilizing
Thank you.
meant in
Next caller.
idiocracy.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to? Caller disconnected.
Okay, next caller.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Glenn Bailey, speaking on item 34.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for item 34. Please begin.
Thank you. Glenn Bailey, I've been involved with neighborhood councils since the beginning. The former general manager, in her 3.5 tenure until she was fired by Mayor Bass in early March,
Hey, Jorge.
Shut your mouth,
23,
essay.
had the department
I'm
and the
just
neighborhood
kidding.
councils in a
You know that's
disarray.
funny.
While I wish Carmen Chang every success, just given on hearing her responses to some of the conversations at the neighborhoods and community enrichment program, specifically talking about the funding program, doesn't give me a high confidence level that she knows
good
much about
stretching
the
right
neighborhood
now.
councils. I do think that an extension until early
What
June,
movie is that
if you're
from?
allowed
Quick,
to,
put it in the
that
chat room.
45 days will allow her to become better informed of what the concerns are of the neighborhood council, what our asks are, and I think that should be done. It's been
There you go,
over
Beach
a
Bum.
year.
You got
Caller,
it.
your
Step
time has
Brothers.
expired. Next caller.
Good old Step Brothers.
I'm not licking any
Caller,
white dog
which items
shit.
would
I'll
you
let
like
the
to
dog
speak
shit
to?
if you leave us alone.
I'll lick the dog shit if you leave us alone. Fucking kids were just mean. If you don't lick that
Go ahead,
dog
caller.
shit right now,
Go ahead.
I'm going to put my
Um,
fist in your face.
Sharon Brewer, item 34.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Thank you. I'm requesting that there needs to be
Was it Chris
the item needs to be
Gardocki?
continued until June 2024 so that neighborhood
Oh, no, there's
councils
Chris
can
Gardocki.
have board meetings to discuss and vote on filing a community impact statement. The facts are very short timeline, 13 days for this appointment. April 25th, Mayor puts documents out. 5/1 goes to Neighbors and Community Enrichment Committee. 5/8, it's now before the City Council. This is way too fast. We've been waiting about 6 months to find out what's going on. The neighborhood councils have not been involved in the process at all, and we really would appreciate
Do I ever sleep?
the
Yeah,
City
Gene.
Council continuing
5
this
hours.
item so that neighborhood councils can at least meet once to file community impact statements. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it stinks. You
Next
can't.
caller, please.
You know, every 3 hours he wants
Caller,
to eat.
which items would you like to speak to?
So sometimes I'll feed him one whole can so I can sleep for
Private caller,
5,
please
6
press
hours.
star 6 to unmute.
Even then, he's already ready to eat early. He's a big fat boy, but I
Okay,
love
next
him.
caller.
No more callers on queue.
No Brock today, no show.
I would like to announce on behalf of Councilmember Blumenfield that the Budget, Finance, and Innovation Committee will be meeting at 2 o'clock today. So 2 o'clock for BFI. All right. That will
BFD.
close public comment on items
BFI.
33 and 34 in the special meeting. So,
And Mr. President, for the record, the Planning and Land Use Management Committee report for item 33 has been submitted and posted
Space
online to council file
little
number
girl was funny in the movie.
24-1200-S15.
very good. Thank you. I'd like to call on the chair of the Planning and Land Use Management Committee, Councilmember Hairstyles.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to state for the record that this nomination has been favorably considered by the Plum Committee. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So item 33 is now before us. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, Mr. President, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the
Bro, that flower is a little too
incredible
big.
service
Spindler was
of
right. What do you guys
Martina
think?
Diaz.
Flower too big?
I'm very proud that she's a resident in the 7th District. She
I'll
has
say
really
it's a little too
served,
big. Gene, thank you so much, Gene.
just
Appreciate
honorably
you.
in her role as
Happy
an area
Wednesday.
planning commissioner. But more importantly,
Huge
I
flower.
note her thoughtfulness with every
That's a
decision that she takes,
huge
both
flower.
from her professional work to her community advocacy.
Thank you, Jean.
She's going to serve this city incredibly well, and I just want to thank Mayor Bass
She
for
likes
this
it
nomination.
big, Alex.
Thank you very much.
You think so, Kat? It's too big.
I see no one else wishing to comment on this item. So on item 33, let's open the roll,
Close the roll.
close
Tabulate
the roll,
the votes.
and tabulate the votes.
13 ayes.
Very good. Congratulations to Commissioner Diaz. All right, that will take us next to item number 34, and I'd like to call on Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to
Guys,
share that
do
it
we
was a
stay for
unanimous
this bullshit,
vote
or do we
on
just
Neighborhood and Community Enrichment
part ways?
Committee
We
to
pull the
approve
cord
Ms.
now
Chang
and
for
we
this
see each
position.
other
Thank
on
you.
Friday, or unless there's
Very
a
good.
chase.
So that item is now before
there's
us.
no more
Item
public
34.
comment
Are
now.
there
They're
any
done.
members wishing to be
Special
heard?
items, the other items.
Seeing none, let's
So now we're just
open the
watching
roll,
their baloney. There ain't going to be any fire
close
happening.
the roll, and tabulate the votes.
So I think we
13
cut bait
ayes.
right here.
Very good. Congratulations, Ms. Chang. That will now recess the. We will now recess the. I'm sorry. We will adjourn the special meeting, and we will again resume our regular meeting. So, Mr. Clerk, if you could please call the roll again for the regular meeting.
Blumenfield, De Leon, Harris Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Krikorian, Lee, McOsker, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky, 13 members and a quorum, Mr. President.
Very good. Thank you. Is there any further business before the council, Mr. Clerk?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Without objection, posted and referred. Next.
This is clear, Mr.
I think
President.
it's
Very
done.
good.
They're
Are there
gonna-
any announcements, members?
For adjournment. So they're out of here in a minute.
Any
anyway,
announcements? Councilmember De Leon for an announcement.
Of course
Thank
he
you
has
much,
to say something.
Mr. President. Colleagues, I just had a meeting right now, a few moments ago, in the back chambers of some wonderful guests, and I think it's very well deserved that we take an opportunity to present these folks. I want to just quickly introduce folks who represent the Guatemalan community here in Los Angeles. That's Juan Evarista Lopez from El Consejo Francisquense, Pedro Alvarez Lopez, who is with the Comité de Desarrollo Maya, Josh Solage, also el Comité de Desarrollo Maya, Félix Saloj, el Comité de Desarrollo Maya, Aurelio Cuyuch, Cooperativa El Migrante, A.B. Solage, el Comité de Desarrollo Maya, Edgar Cha from
Look at him
Maya
back there.
Visión, Angelina Saloj, el Comité del Desarrollo, Nesha Shunkash, Maya Vision, as well as Rosa Hernandez, el Comité Cultural. These are folks who are residents here of the city of LA, leaders in their own right, respectively, of the Guatemalan community. And there's a couple things that I'd like to point out. Many of them are from Sololá in Totonicapán in Guatemala. but they're also a representative of the indigenous communities, the Quiches, the Cachiquels, as well as Canjobal and Ixchiles as well too. A beautiful reflection of the indigenous community in Guatemala. They're fighting for the rights for immigrants here in Guatemala, economic rights, cultural
MS-13
rights
is from El
as
Salvador.
well.
They're
But
from
one thing
Guatemala.
all of them
Different country.
has been touched by this. But one thing I do want to mention, highlight the
it's
family,
Mara Salvatrucha,
Solange,
right? I think that's
here,
what
and Felix.
MS stands for.
And their family. And the reason why
Salva,
is that I think we've had this discussion
as
before
in Salvador.
terms of the U.S. foreign policy and how
they're
it
from El
affected so
Salvador.
much Latin America,
These
Central
folks
America,
are
and
from
the very
Guatemala.
fact that we have this large diaspora of Salvadorians as well as Guatemalans. Felix's family of 8, 6 of them were massacred and killed by the army
Chilaquiles.
of Guatemala, which was supplied and trained by the United States government and by members of Congress who voted for it, even Democratic members of Congress
In
who
fact,
voted
I have a
for
goddaughter,
the death training, the death squads.
and
in
her
Guatemala.
mother
One of his brothers
is
was
Guatemalan.
burned
I mean,
alive,
she's American. She was born
burned
here,
alive,
but her mother
when
was
the
born in
army
Guatemala.
They started with machetes, and they started with the kids first, and the babies first. Then when they went to the women, and then they
Dodgers
took,
are already
all
up
the other
1-0.
men and they
Shit,
burned them
missing
alive.
it.
And that's when you had a huge diaspora of folks leaving Guatemala, coming to the United States, primarily focusing in
Turn
the area
on.
of MacArthur Park, Pico Union area. I have the connection there because I used to represent that
MacArthur
area.
Park.
I used to
We were
also
just
live
talking
right
about
across the street
that
from
last
MacArthur
night, watching
Used to live on
Jason.
the 6th floor, the Asbury building, that you can see it late at night when they turn up the Asbury building. I used to live right there on the 6th floor, right across the street from MacArthur Park. And they're a huge part of our community. But I wanted to take this moment to introduce them to each
Do I
and every
spoil
one of
her
you.
rotten?
Important,
You know,
folks,
actually, I haven't
in
seen
our-
her in a little
not just
bit, but I
Guatemalan
definitely
community,
did
but
when I was a
immigrant
kid.
community
We'd
as
have
a
like
whole.
Christmases and
Gracias
all
por
that
venir.
stuff. And
Nos sentimos bien
she's a
honrados por su
beautiful
presencia.
young lady,
Bienvenidos
and
a su casa. Thank you very much. Thank you.
God, shoot.
Thank you very
13
much.
now?
Welcome to our council chambers.
So yeah, actually, she's
Any
really
other
into
announcements,
like
members?
MMA. Like
Announcements
she does
on my
grappling
left,
and all that
announcements
stuff.
on my right, seeing none. Are there any motions?
know.
Oh, Councilmember De
She
Leon,
likes
please.
jujitsu.
Yes. Colleagues as well. I forgot to
should,
mention
yeah.
it the
It's
other
gonna be
day,
a
but
tough horse.
I know we all been so busy. Just a few Sundays ago, we had for the first time since COVID, when COVID shut everything down, we had our Fiesta Broadway.
For sure, Hoosier.
And we closed down First and Broadway all the way to Fifth and Broadway. It was an amazing, beautiful event.
everywhere around
For
it.
those who like rock en español, and the original rock en español, El Tri, Alex Lora came. If you guys like, música regional, that is cowboy music, if you
She is,
will, for folks here, country music. We had
Good little
Pablo
girl.
Montero.
Very smart.
We had an
Very pretty.
amazing
So I'm sure the
ceremony,
boys are going to be
amazing event.
bugging
Not
her
one
right
single
about
incident.
soon, very soon.
Thank you to the LAPD who collaborated and cooperated. Thank you to LA Fire Department as well. We had not
She's very active.
600 people there.
In great shape.
Not 6,000 people, not 16,000 people.
She's creative.
We had
She likes to draw.
60,000
and stuff
people
like that too.
at
so.
this event
Yeah.
on a Sunday.
She's a good girl.
It was a beautiful event, but it was an important event because prior to COVID, it had been shut down. The event had not taken place for 5 years, and this event had predated me.
Yeah, sick puppy.
years
He's got
before.
he's
Other
got to
folks have
pander
done
for
this
those
event.
votes.
I had no credit. I take no
Elections are
credit for
coming
this,
up.
but we really came together this year, to really make
Can't
sure
waste
it
these
happened.
kind of
And
opportunities.
So many Angelinos came, not just from CD14. They came from 13 and 7 and 9 and 1, just from all over the city, from all over the county, and it was a beautiful event. And next year will be even bigger and even much better than that. But I just wanted to say that.
Bright sunny day at Dodger Stadium.
Video
Boy,
pictures,
oh
but,
boy.
and
Like
something-
I told my buddy, he's
Oh,
going
yeah, actually,
Martinez to the game. Bring your hat and sunscreen. And
el
water.
que vino también, el que canta Sopa de Caracol, he came too, Bienvenidos Fiesta Broadway desde Honduras.
Hugo
Viva
López.
Honduras.
Gracias a todos ustedes desde Honduras, para todo el mundo, desde Los Ángeles. ¿Saben quién llegó? ¡Huepa! Si tú quieres bailar, sopa de caracol. ¡Hey!
I'm sure that music's gonna get me a copyright. Bro, there's a lot of people. Look at that. Holy shit. Packed. I just, I don't know why. Never mind. I won't get into it.
There's Alex Lora. Those are the Rolling Stones of Latin America right there.
That's Mick.
Had
Mick
a
and the
amazing event
boys.
for kids as well too. So it was just a beautiful event. Of all
What
the
about
folks who all
Brazilians?
came
I'm sure
together.
they get their day.
And, from
Everybody
Mexico,
does.
From Honduras, from
apparently.
Nicaragua, from El Salvador.
Everybody.
Pablo
More
Martinez.
than
He gave me
once.
that hat right there. There's Hugo Soto Martinez
Close.
with us right there. Right there. Or someone who looks like him right there. I thought you right there. But anyways, it was a great event, and thank you very much for that right there.
Thank you. I think you rocked that hat, actually. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you. I just wanted to join in and congratulate you on bringing back Fiesta Broadway. You know, I remember when Richard Alatorre used to do Fiesta Broadway.
You look safe. Ty goes to the
30
runner.
years ago. And, you know, it was really a beautiful culmination
might
of
be out
community
by
coming
just
from
an
across the
inch.
city to celebrate. When my dad ran the Explorer program in Boyle Heights at Fire Station 2s, it was just an assemblage of community
up,
from
Meg.
everywhere that came together. So I remember the original Fiesta Broadway celebrations, and it was growing with such incredible momentum. And then, you know, with COVID, like so many other things, it brought it to a halt. So it really was exciting to know that it came back. I was disappointed that I wasn't able to be there, but congratulations. It takes an incredible amount of work, but it's really wonderful to see
Thanks, BJ.
these huge
Yeah, I'm gonna probably hop
events
off
come
here. I
back
mean, I was
because our
just
community
hoping
needs
these dudes
to
would
take
wrap it up,
space
but there's
in
always
their-
just
in these places
talkers.
in their streets and come together and really be celebrated. And
Back
thank
it
you
up,
for
There was
thank
two
you to
fires
your
today.
staff
There was
and
a
everyone that
two
was
alarm
involved
fire
to produce
earlier.
a beautiful event. And
It's getting warm
to
now.
showcase that
It's
we
80
can
degrees
have
today.
large-scale gatherings like this for our community, incident-free. And I think that's more importantly,
Ooh,
you know,
did
we
we
did
just
it with
nail
El
'em?
Grito. There's a number of examples of this, but congratulations on a beautifully executed event.
Thank you.
Come on, let's wrap it up.
Councilmember Hernandez for an announcement.
Yes. Thank you,
Please.
Council President. This past weekend, we had an adoption event in CD1 at the North Lacey Street Animal Shelter.
Aw,
and it
little
was
stinkies.
a wonderful event. We had the Michelson Foundation, Canine Youth Alliance. It was great.
Exploded on
And
the
we had
freeway.
Play LA as well, bring some jumpers. But I just want to give the numbers of animals that we got adopted. We got 14 dogs and 5 cats adopted in one day in a matter of hours. So
Fantastic. Congratulations.
very happy to share that. And also, I urge my colleagues, please host your own adoption events in your district if you have an animal shelter. And if there's any way that I can
guess
be
the fire-
supported
is
to
the
help make
fire
that
out?
happen, please do so.
'Cause it
Because
looks
it's
like it is.
life-changing, not only
Well, it's
for
still- it's
the
still-
animals, but for the families in our district. Thank you.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
that's not what I
and Thank you
wanted.
for that
There you go.
incredible success.
There you
we
go.
still have a long way to go, and so for everyone out there, if you have an opportunity to adopt or to
Here's the,
foster,
thank you for letting me know, BJ.
There's an animal that
It's
needs
weird,
you,
yeah. It's the second
and
fire
so
today.
please step up. if
Maybe
you can.
breaks. It's getting
All right.
hot.
Council President, I
Yes.
just
Breaks
want to add,
catch
yes,
fire.
please, if you can foster, adopt. But what they also mentioned is
I mean, you hit the
volunteer.
guardrail,
If you can
and
take
that's an
animal
that's
home,
the one
please
that's on fire. I
volunteer
was
at
looking
animal
at the
shelter
other one.
Or make any donations for food
Now
or
I see.
supplies. Thank
Okay,
you.
so I'm guessing one hit the
Any other
other.
announcements, members?
Boy,
See
oh
none,
boy!
if we could all please rise for adjourning motions.
All right, so they're rising for adjourning motions. They're out of here.
Councilmember Hutt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's with
So I guess we're gonna end on this note here. As the serious truck fire, second fire of the day.
This is bullshit. It's like Cypress Hill concert in here.
It's true though. It is like a Cypress Hill show. I'm not gonna deny that one. But yeah, there you go. That's gonna cause. You know what? Thankfully, it's on that. The on ramp right there. Or the pass through, so where you can just divert traffic. Thankfully, it's not on the main lanes of the freeway. But then you have the looky-loos and all that shit. Oh, they're still treating somebody. Wow. Viewer discretion is advised. Boy, he looks burnt. Oh, boy. His pants are... Hold on, yeah. Poor dude. Burns are the worst. He literally blew his clothes off. Literally blew the dude's clothes off. Wow. Jeez. Ouch. Burns are the worst, man. They're the fucking worst. Hopefully you'll be alright, man. Because burns are the goddamn worst. All that. Oof. Yeah. Viewer discretion is always advised, and yes, it is now. They're going to scoop him and go. Take him, hopefully, to a burn center quickly. Maybe fly him, have a life flight fly him to Grossman Burn Center. It's usually what they do, especially if somebody's really burnt bad. They'll have life flight, pick him up and fly him there. Maybe stabilize him at the local ER and then arrange a flight to take him over there. Sometimes that's what happens as well. But look at all the fucking paperwork, probably his trucker log and all that, just bang. Yeah, not the way you wanted to start your day. And shout out to the men and women of LA County and City Fire that are always doing great jobs for us out there, man. Man, nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Yeah, boy, guys, right. Just working. And all of a sudden that happens. And I'm gonna look. To me, it almost looks like his left leg is broken. Like in the a femur break. His quad is all like deformed. Those kinds of injuries happen too when you're slamming on the brakes 1 foot or 2 feet trying to stop the whole fucking thing, and it snaps your ankle over. It did to me. On my right foot, of course. But shit, yeah. Bro, literally got him good. Charred him. See his face. It's crazy. Loss of income, yeah. He's going to be out of work for quite a while. Hopefully not, of course, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a kind of a work-related injury insurance or something, because a lot of them are like subcontractors, They don't work for the companies they haul for, kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe his leg is okay, and maybe it's just something that was over top of it. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we know he's all right, or at least he's being taken care of, I guess we should say, I'm going to get out of here. Just want to thank you guys for all you do for me and for each other. Thank you for taking your time and joining me, or us rather, for the show today. Always keep the notifications on, because who knows, in 20 minutes there could be a chase and I have to hop right back on. So if you want to watch those live chases or the live things that are crazy that are popping off, it's a good idea to to keep those notifications on. Thank you for all the likes, the love, the thumbs ups. They work, they're free, and I appreciate them. Thank you for all the donos. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for the anti-Semitism from some of you that went into it today. But I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. If obviously we'll be live on what do you call it? Friday for our 2 shows, early and late. So don't forget about those. 10:15 a.m. on the early one, and of course, hold on a sec. And the 8 o'clock late show. Hold on. What is that right there? That was in the trailer. Is that meat? Shit, smoked meat now. What are those, guys? Can you tell what that is? Looks to me like packs of meat or something. The fuck is that? I don't know. I can't even tell. It's not meat. What is it? Bunch of bacon? Bro, it must smell fucking phenomenal then. If that's a bunch of burning bacon, I'm trying to tell you, it's smelling good right there. Pork ribs? Come on, Meth. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, it got nuked. Whole trailer, whole cab, everything. Boy, that thing was burning hot. Looks like pork bellies. A few of you are saying it. Sliced ham. I mean, either way, I guess it should smell good. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Thank you, everything. Have a fantastic day. See you on the next one. On behalf of Stink Bomb, who's over here, and myself, I'm out of here for now.
Adios, turd nuggets.
See you guys. And again.
Bye.